And so, anyways, the guards pretty much put the mollywop on Altier, and the rest of the party was left to heading back to the abandoned house that has been converted into kind of like a community center for housing and food for the community. And that's where we're going to pick up. We're going to pick up at that point where the party has been waiting for Altier to come back and let him know what happened, you know. And so it's like evening time. It's probably around about 8 o'clock that evening, and so at that point, that's what the party's doing. I think, John, you said that while you're waiting, you were going to be like, what were you going to be doing while you're kind of waiting for Altier to come back to the abandoned house?
I'm not doing anything. I was like we were going back to the abandoned soup kitchen, correct?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which they've converted rooms into, I mean, there's like community. It's almost like a bunkhouse kind of thing, so people can get out of the cold, because no one wants to get caught at night out in the cold.
Yeah, I'm just gonna go back, man, and kind of hang out with the rats and the mice, and and kind of was gonna take a short rest if I could, because I need my wild shapes back.
Well, you'll be able to take a long rest here.
Even better. No,
yeah.
I'm not doing anything. I would imagine it's only been probably 30 minutes since Altier assassinated the governor out of game, correct?
Yeah, the magistrate. Yeah, right. It's been about, so it's like, because it was like 6 o'clock when you started off to get to the mansion. By the time you got in, met with the magistrate, came, and it was a quick meeting, like 5-10 minutes at most, and then you're back outside. And then you wait around for a while to see if Altier was going to catch up to you. He didn't, so he says, well, maybe he'll just catch back up with us back at the I'll call it the soup kitchen too, because that just kind of makes sense. And it's about 8 o'clock. So it's been like about an hour, because it takes about a half an hour to get from the Barrens, which is this dilapidated merchant district, to the magistrate's mansion. So it's about I would say it's about 8 o'clock at night by the time you get there, get some food. They've got everything in full swing now. I mean, the place has been kind of tidied up over the day. A makeshift kitchen's been made. There's some temporary beds kind of put up, some cots and stuff like that. So, and you can see that the word of mouth is already spread out through the Barrens. If you don't have a place to stay, you don't have any food. The donations that the party made. You guys basically paid for a lot of food and medical supplies and stuff to be carted in. So you've bought quite a bit of goodwill for not only this community, but with those folks that are within the White Hand, which is the kind of
the Robin Hood
one faction of the Thieves Guild. So, and that's what you're picking up at. And so, the evening goes by very uneventful. Uneventful in that, one, Altier never shows up, and you can see, and we're both all kind of staying busy, like helping people. Carter is helping with medical needs of people that are coming in out of the cold. Seamus is kind of like helping with moving furniture around and kind of like, again, ushering people into getting them situated. The White Hand thieves are busy kind of repairing holes in the walls and stuff like that. So I mean, it's all hands on deck to kind of get this thing up and running, and because it's for the greater good of the community, and the group of No Name has yet to decide upon is helping out. So in the morning, there's a knock at the door. It's about it. So it's after a long rest. Okay. So whatever, you're fully healed, John. You've got your wild shapes back. So fully rested up. Which, by the way, let me pull up Carter's thing. It's just a long rest thing. And so the next morning, you're woken up to like a banging on the door, like a boom, 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 and all the white hand thieves are kind of like, God, what could that be, and so one of them goes to the front door, opens it up, and there's a kind of a thin, kind of wiry looking guy with like town's clothes. He doesn't look any special, and he basically hands one of the thieves a parchment, and kind of gives him a knowing nod and runs off. And so the young kid, he's probably about 12, 13 years old, and takes off. So the thief unrolls the parchment, scans it for a bit, kind of nods, and hands the parchment to Pecker. Okay. And Pecker, as you kind of like look at this piece of paper, you can see it's on brand new paper. It seems, doesn't seem any worse from wear. It seems like a note that was scribbled just recently. Almost like you could smell the fresh ink still on the page.
Damn. Okay.
Okay. And it's a note to you and the group, really, but saying, "Hey, when you get a chance, I need you to get to the Alaskan Inn as soon as you can. We have a situation."
Well,
and that's all.
okay.
And that's all the note says. That's all. When you can, when at your earliest convenience, get to the Alaskan Inn. We've got a situation here.
I'll look up at the group and say, "Well, seems our friend over at the Alaskan Inn kind of needs to speak with us."
Yes.
And I turned the parchment around. Well, yeah, look. Somebody needs to see us over there. It's probably about that money. Have y'all seen Altier?
And you look around the room, and everyone's shaking their head like, I haven't seen them. I've been kind of like getting up. We've kind of been having shifts throughout the night, just so one of us is awake when he gets in, so we can, because we're all kind of chopping at the bit to kind of what happened, what did you do, or where have you been? Why didn't you come back earlier? Were you detained, or what is going on? Everyone's pretty much in the dark at this moment, because the last time you actually saw Altier was just before
going to the mansion.
Going into the mansion, right? And then that's the last time you saw him.
Huh. Well, he's a big boy. He can handle himself.
He's a 250-pound turtle. So yeah, he is a big guy. And
so, do y'all want to go to the see our friends over there, see what they want? They need something. I don't know what it is. It doesn't say.
So sounds good. And then yeah. What would is that what you'd like to do? You'd like to kind of head over, because it's going to be Seamus, Carter, and Pecker at this point.
Yeah, I mean, what else do we got to do right now?
Okay. Yeah, we kind of waited the whole evening, and there wasn't down any Altier, so maybe there's some news. Yeah, maybe there's some news they had at the Lancashire Inn about what happened. So.
Right.
Yeah. All right.
You never know. I'm thinking it's about the money, because you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Owen, and so that's my thought process on it. But see, because we got to remember, we just met Altier.
Right.
A couple of hours but maybe a day prior.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I don't think there would be like a, oh well, he ain't coming back. It's okay. There was no real bond, if you will. You know what I'm saying? In game,
Uh-huh.
in my character's opinion, he's just like, oh well.
He talked about a number of bounties that he was interested in at the time, and so I mean, it could be almost very well explained that maybe he thought he could maybe tag one of these bounties on his own, and very quickly, and then maybe catch up to the group later, or you really don't know, so so it's about 8 o'clock in the morning after a pretty moderate, a pretty mundane breakfast, being well fed, staying out of the cold from the evening, and the sun's risen, and you can hear the streets. People are opening up shops, and there's a throng of people kind of starting to kind of move through the merchant district area. Maybe not so much in this area, because this area doesn't really get going till about noontime, usually because most of the trade and interactions of people within this area are usually, in the latter part of the afternoon, or even sometimes under the guise of darkness, because obviously the Thieves Guild, at least the White Hand part of the Thieves Guild, operates quite a bit in this area because they're needed more in this area.
Right.
Okay. So if you'll just, John, are you able to see the Owlbear map? Or
yeah, I'm on my phone, so I can't move anything though. Okay, but I can see it. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Just go back to the Lancashire Inn map, which is just left of the Targos main map, the white Targos map. And there is a throng of people. Like if you get out of the Barrens and you start heading towards where the Lancashire Inn is, and a little bit higher degree of merchant stalls, and you can see just the clothing difference from one district to another. The district in which the Laskin Inn is in is a little bit higher end, but one thing that you notice now that you've been in Targos for a while is how dilapidated the Laskin Inn looks compared to all the other buildings in the area. It looks like money has been pretty readily trading hands for most of the merchants in this area. It looks like the Laskin Inn is a bit of a sore thumb in the area because it doesn't look like the building's been upkept very much. Like you can just imagine the first time you laid eyes on it, there were rats like scurrying across the bar top, the across the bar. And if it wasn't for Pecker convincing the cat to go and actually do its job, to go actually chase the rats, it still would have rats. So fast forward here. So one thing that you do notice that's different as you make your way from the barren merchant district, the dilapidated merchant district, into the higher end district where the Laskin Inn is you notice three things. Pecker said, first thing you notice is there's an enormous amount of city guard presence early in the morning, more so now than any day that you've been there. Two, as you get towards the Laskin Inn, you notice a new addition to the front in the kind of like the courtyard towards the front of the tavern and inn, and you see a well-maintained fairly large cart with a shingle hanging out of it, saying, tattooist artist available. and you see a gentleman kind of coming in and out of the cart as he's setting. It seems like he's setting up shop. The third thing that you notice as you get to the Alaskan Inn is there's a number of couriers that you see, just like the one that came to the abandoned house. You see them scurrying up and down the street, carrying obviously messages from point A to point B. This is something that you haven't seen to this degree, at least. It's almost like every couple of minutes you're seeing a courier. It's almost like seeing a bike courier in New York. You know, wherever you look, you have to see one. Well, you haven't seen that up until today. But today, there seems to be a flurry of messages being couried from one location to another. It's evident. It's evident. So those are the three things, Becca, that you notice on your way from the abandoned house to the Laxton Inn. Okay. As you get to the towards the Laxton Inn, that's Carter, Seamus, and Pecker. You notice a well-defined half orc climbing in out of that tattoo shingled wagon. And why don't you go ahead and describe yourself there, JD?
He is 6 feet tall, 200 pounds. He has yellow eyes and purple skin, with black hair. He's fairly muscular, and he's covered. Anywhere where there's not clothing, there's ink.
Well, what kind of clothing are you wearing?
Probably fairly nice clothing, actually, because I have a diplomat's pack.
Okay.
So, yeah, I've got a set of fine clothes, so I mean, I look fairly wealthy.
Would you say you look like pretty well-to-do, like traveling merchant kind of individual, where you can appreciate the finer things, but it has to be practical also?
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. It's like I'm wearing these fine clothes, but under the fine clothes and where they're not covering his skin, there's ink. So it's kind of this contradictory, like, he looks rich, but he looks rough kind of guy, you know?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And like you said, you're really quite buff and muscular, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, it looks like you can handle yourself in a physical altercation also.
Yeah, I mean, well, he's got a great club hanging from his hips, so.
Okay. Yeah. And that's what you see, JD, is you see these three, and it's first thing in the morning, so even though there's a bustling, and you haven't been in Targos very long, but, that's something also that your character sees. There's a number of people that are entering, shops are opening. You see a number of couriers traveling back and forth through the streets, obviously delivering packages or messages, or so there's the throng of people are starting to start their day, really. And even the Alaskan Inn, even the Owen, the bartender / owner, has come out to check on you to make sure that you are getting situated, and he's hoping that your draw of who doesn't like a good pint of beer after getting a good tattoo, right? So
right.
He's hoping that you're going to be a draw for people to kind of come in, because the impression that you've gotten is that he's overly distraught. Like, You've never met the guy before, but he looks like he's got a lot on his mind, right? There you go. So, anyways, you can see that the wagon and this half orc. Is he also that color? Is that like the color that he is?
Yeah.
Okay, so he's kind of like a lavender purple colored skin half orc, right?
Yeah.
Pretty clean shaven, pretty tight. I mean, he looks pretty clean cut. Other than he's pretty head to toe tatted, And anyways, you see, as you're setting up your shop there, that you see these three individuals come walking up. There's a guy in, plate. Plate. He looks like he's belongs to a holy order of something or other, and he's a shorter individual who seems to be pretty wild looking. Red hair, red beard. He always stands about 3'10". Is that right, John?
Yeah, like 3 foot. Yeah, like 3'7" or something. I think
3'7". Okay,
something
yeah.
like that.
But yeah, so I don't think we ever. I mean, other than the red hair and red beard, what is he wearing?
Oh well, right now I got those winter furs on.
Yeah.
But usually kind of just like a pale green, like pale green or gray, like Jedi robe.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean? With some basic trousers and a basic shirt, some sandals.
Yeah.
Type shit. He's like
but one thing it does kind of like poke out from like the hood and the scarf and everything like that is this like vibrant red hair, right?
I got bright red hair, bright red beard, like a neon green color eye.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like a really rich green eye.
Yeah. And you got a bit of a kind of a wild look, like, look at someone and you can just like see their eyes, and it's kind of like that guy's are they crazy?
Well, yeah, my beard's unkept, my hair's unkept, my eyebrows are going ridiculously nuts.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I got like a lazy Forrest Whitaker eye.
Yeah. Yeah, and also it's kind of like you almost look like you came out of the wilds.
Yeah.
It's like your hair's unkempt, it looks like you just came back from like a 3-week camping trip and you haven't showered.
No gear.
No gear, right. You were roughing it.
Roughing it, yeah, most definitely. And he always looks like that. Even when he gets out of the bath or, cleans up, he still looks like that.
Yeah, that's his baseline. That's
Right.
Like he could go to a barber, he could go to like a tailor, he could go, he could find the bar of soap, and within 5 minutes he's right back to looking exactly like he was.
Exactly like that.
Right.
Yep.
It's just
unnatural.
Right.
I'm a naturalist. That's what I am. I'm a naturalist. Peckerwood is a pure naturalist.
Yeah. And then standing next to you is this 4'8" or 4'9" dwarf who seems to be pretty well buffed also. Hey, Rocky, what's going on, man?
Running my errands.
Okay.
Yeah. I was just hopping in to spy.
Yeah. So we are. So what's happened so far is the group went back to the abandoned house where they set up like temporary cots and beds in the soup kitchen, waiting for Altair. And Altair, guess what? Altair never showed.
Yeah, right. I had a feeling that would happen.
Yeah, and so the next morning, there's a bang at the door, and there's a courier at the door, and it's saying for the party to come over to the Alaskan Inn. There's a development that's happened that needs there's like a serious situation evolving, and get over here as soon as possible. And it wasn't signed. So anyways, the rest of the party was like, okay, well, let's get on over there. They just gotten here. They're at the entranceway of the Alaskan Inn. one thing that they noticed on the way over is as the shops are opening and the throngs of people start entering into the merchant district area, there's been an increased traffic of a number of couriers that you see on the streets, whether it's carrying packages or carrying messages. You see that there's a lot more on the street this morning than you've ever noticed before.
All right, cool. Well, you got to play. I'm just going to listen in and keep up, as long as I can.
Okay. Yeah. So
I got to go shopping and get some last minute things. And yeah, I just didn't want to be completely clueless next week.
Yeah. So
I was going to tell you, I give you full permission to kidnap Seamus or something crazy if you need to take him out of play.
Yeah. I've got that squared away, no problem. Actually, it's gonna play out pretty good, actually. So
sounds good. All right, I'm blanking out. Y'all carry on.
All right. So, and so next to this dwarf who happens to be also in kind of heavy weather gear is this again this like 5'10", 6 foot tall, kind of knightly looking fella. And but he also has a bearing of almost like he constantly is like looking around and all around him like, wow, this is a brand new day, everything's brand new to him, kind of look in his eye, where Pecker might have this kind of like, wow, this kind of crazy wild look about him. This guy has more of a look of wonderment and amazement in his eye. And also Carter says to you guys as you're coming up to the Lancashire Inn, hey, I've been keeping my eye out for Altair, see if I've noticed him on the streets, and I haven't seen anyone matching the description on our way over here. So that's what you see, JD, is you see these three individuals first thing in the morning coming up to Alaskan Inn. What would you like to do, JD?
Well, so the first thing I do every morning when I get up is cast Mage Armor.
Mage Armor. Okay,
yeah.
Fair enough.
So my armor class is 15.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm gonna just continue to set up shop. Like I'll find a water basin. I've got a bar of soap, so I'll clean myself up, get presentable.
Okay. Yeah. So as you're doing that, Carter, who's the kind of knightly looking or kind of like holy, like someone from right out of the clergy, kind of like comes over to your sign and is kind of like looking at your wagon. Because it's something new, right? I mean, this was not here the other day. So he's kind of coming in, kind of being a little nosy. And again, he's always at wonder of anything new or anything that might be out of the ordinary, and then he kind of like gets distracted by it. So you can see that this 6 foot tall kind of lanky looking character kind of comes over and says, and he looks at you in big pearly whites, good morning.
Morning.
What do you have here?
It's a mobile tattoo parlor.
Mobile tattoo, and I mean, you might as well be speaking Greek to him because he had never seen. First of all, he'd never seen anyone tatted up as much as you. Yeah. Well,
but they're not very pretty.
Yeah. He's even more tatted up than you. This guy's like head to toe, inked, right? And he's also where Seamus maybe he's shown his upper body. This guy is like this guy's covered. I mean, he's and so you see like this guy goes, well, tell me a little bit more about them. Maybe I might be interested. He doesn't know what it is, but it's complete fascination with him. He's like, tell me more, like tattoo, like what's the process and how much does it cost, and like what are like the benefits of having a tattoo?
Cost, I point to the sign because it literally says.
Yeah.
So for non-magical tattoos. It's let me see.
Free?
No, they're D4. 3 times. We'll go times 5. 15 gold
Okay.
for neck, arm, leg, and oops. But, oh, come on. Huh. 20 gold for a chest or a back tattoo.
Okay.
Or
What about a face tattoo?
What?
A face tattoo.
15 gold. And but I do work for trade also if you have trade goods. Like often in smaller villages where there's tanners and things hanging out, I'll work for their pigment.
Mm-hmm.
So I can make
15 gold. No, Pick, if you want a face tattoo, I'll give you one for free.
No, I don't want knuckle prints or dents in my head. But I would like to, you know, and I point to my lazy eye, my slightly lazy eye. You know, take the view off my eye. People look at me like I'm crazy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so I was thinking like a Celtic knotting system, like a Mike Tyson Celtic war tattoo.
Okay.
Hey, you fellers act like I don't be know what I'm doing with me. Huh. Find it, suit yourself, go broke.
Yeah. And,
I've seen
and Carter looks at Becker and says, "Oh, you look great." You know, again, he's like, well, he's overly like you met these type of people in your life. They're a little overly optimistic about things. You know, they, you know, they're the kind of they get lemons, they make lemonade kind of people, and you know, sometimes you can appreciate that. Sometimes you're just like, oh God, you know, this person's like a bit naive about how the world works, and maybe they need to tone it down a little bit. And you've traveled with Carter long enough to realize that you know, as good intention as he is a bit naive, you know, and he looks at Pat and goes, "Oh, whether you get a tattoo or not, you look great, man." And I never even actually noticed your crazy eye until you mentioned it, and now that you mention it, you know, for one thing, it gives you character. You know, and if anything, it probably helps you see in multiple, gives you multiple perspectives.
Yeah, I just walk up to him, Carter, and tap him on like his wrist. And, yeah, thank you, buddy. Thank you, buddy. And just shake my head, and then look back up at the big purple guy.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I think I got like 12 gold. You think we could figure something out? I really would like to get the, you know, I think it would be.
In fact, that's something special for you. You seem like a man of the wild.
See, I told you, everybody thinks I'm crazy.
We call him Wild Man.
He pulls out a notebook, flips to a page, and if you go to Messenger, he shows you that image. This will go on your face.
Oh, you could make this go across my forehead and down my nose?
Yeah. It's
Oh.
a beastly sense tattoo.
I do like the animals.
Seamus is kind of butthurt because nobody thinks that he's a good tattoo artist.
And Carter even goes and says, he goes, "Seamus, you know, if I was ever to get a tattoo, which, you know, it's a little bit against the orders of, you know, it's against the grain with the order that I'm with. But if I ever was, I'd gladly have you tattoo me."
Well, thanks, pal. I appreciate it.
Yeah. I'd probably get one of like a big like rising sun, you know, just as it was peaking, you know, like a brand new dawn, a brand new day, you know.
Over the mountain, probably, huh? Yeah, with some trees, nice little squirrels.
So, is that something you'd like to do, Peckers? Are you considering getting a tattoo?
Yes, I want that one with JD, and it's going to cover. It's going to be on my forehead, down the bridge of my nose, under my eyes, and like, yeah, and down like on both sides.
Okay.
So I'm getting like a full
It
frontal
looks like a
face
mask.
tattoo.
Okay. How long does that normally take, JD? I mean, does it give you a kind of a time frame in which it takes to do these things?
Whenever I take a short or long rest, I can use 1 hour's light activity to sketch one of my known magic tattoo designs in my enchanted sketchbook. So with magic tattoos, these ones that actually do things for people, it literally is just I sketch it into my book, and then lay my tools on it. The ink absorbs, and then I basically just kind of squirt it onto him, and it forms on his face.
Okay.
He can attune to it immediately with a quick application. If he wants to attune to a different tattoo or more tattoos later on, then he has to spend an hour attuning to it.
So the the 15 gold piece tattoo, that's just a regular ink tattoo, right?
Right, yeah.
Okay. How long would that take?
I don't know, like on a face, it'd be like 15 minutes.
First,
15 minutes?
Yeah.
take it from someone who has tattoos. It won't be 15 minutes.
Yeah, you're right. It's probably more like an hour, but
Yeah.
We'll count like an hour, just just that, in lieu of being cognizant of game time here. Basically, Carter and Seamus says, "Well, hey, listen, while you're getting your tattoo here, we'll go inside and wait for you inside." Okay.
Okay, when I come back in, I'll be a whole new gnome.
So basically Seamus and Carter, they go inside and they they've been here a number of times and they're pretty familiar with the layout, and they don't see anyone new in the area. They don't see anyone. It seems like the same old barflies that are been there the night before, probably still sitting in the same place that they were, 10 o'clock last night, or here at 8 o'clock in the morning, right? Like this is their go-to. And so there doesn't seem to be any new faces and no one that they're unfamiliar with. And when Seamus and Carter go up to Owen and kind of give him the head nod, like, hey, we're here. Owen's kind of like, yeah, shouldn't you be out looking for that money? And we kind of look at him like, yeah, we should be, but we're kind of like here to kind of follow up on a lead about that. And he's like, well, do what you have to do, but get that money. Is the magistrate is going to be breathing down my neck soon to get that money.
Yeah, we already heard.
Yeah. Says if I don't give him that money, he's gonna take my, it's kind of like property tax, right? I might own the property, but man, he's gonna foreclose on me from property tax. He takes like 30% of all the winnings and stuff like that, and I guess I didn't give him prior knowledge about our fight the other night, and he's really upset about that. So instead of 30%, it's 50% now. I don't know what I'm going to do. I can't afford to lose this place, and I can't afford to keep it. I'm in a tight spot, gentlemen. So, that being said, it kind of is evident that Owen didn't send a note. So he doesn't, he's just as surprised to see you there this morning. He thought you'd be out, beating the bushes trying to find out who took that money. And he even asked you, did you come across like any leads on who might have stolen that money and the purse money? And basically Seamus and Carter say, well, we've got some leads. we've been kind of following up on that. We think that it might have something to do with the Thieves Guild. We're not 100% sure about that, but because we don't really know if Owen is in the back pocket of the magistrate or if he's just under the thumb of the magistrate that he owes him back taxes. We don't know Owen well enough to know, other than he's distraught. He's as distraught, if not more, than the day we met him. Right. And so we go in and we take a seat, and there's again the regular patrons, and they have almost they've almost seen us here enough times over the last few days that it's not surprising that we're there the first thing in the morning. About an hour goes by, and no one's come back to the door. Pecker, you finish your tattoo. During that hour, JD, what kind of information would you want Pecker? Are you a talkative person? Are you one that just is silent in doing your work? I mean, what kind of information would you want Pecker to know about you and your character during that hour as you're giving him a face tattoo?
Well, it makes small talk.
Where are you from?
Yeah, where are you from? How's the weather? That kind of thing.
Yeah, so where are you from?
Somewhere down south.
Okay.
I'll figure it out later.
Okay, all right. Yeah, it's a place that everyone, again, you have traveled up here on your own accord for your own reasons. Do you let Pecker know what those reasons are? Because he'll ask, what brings you to Icewind Dale? I mean, this is not like this is not on the beaten path here. You have to make a conscious effort to get this far north.
I'm looking for a book.
A book? Well, there's all kinds of books around here.
Yeah, this one's old. Ancient.
Well, this place has been around the land has been here for a lot longer than the man has. So there's no telling what's in here and in these lands. It's very well possible that your ancient book may be here. Oh, that stung a little bit.
Remind me again, John, where's Pecker from? I know that Seamus is from the Dwarven Valley area, that kind of
I'm from that branch of woods,
Oh, that's right.
right outside of to the west of Bremen, or the east of Bremen.
He's from Goodmead.
Yeah, Goodmead. I know we just talked about it last week. I'm just trying to keep it all straight. And very good. All right. And so that being said, after again some just kind of idle chit chat, and even so what's your character's name, JD? Mogar. Okay. And you're a half orc. How tall is your character?
6 foot.
6 foot. Okay, so you're about the same height as Carter is. And how much do you think you weigh?
Hold on, I wrote it down. 200 pounds.
200 pounds. Okay, yeah. Carter doesn't weigh nearly that much. I think Carter actually weighs but he doesn't weigh as much as you. He looks a little skinnier than you. So yeah, you guys pretty much kind of struck up a very civil, casual conversation about why you're there. Pecker, do you let him know why you're in the area? Because again, if you're not from the area, then or you came here from another area, you came here with a purpose. And do you let Mogar know why you're up in Icewind Dale?
Well, I'm from not too far from here. A couple of days travel with my little legs. You know, it's hard to traverse through the snow with little legs, but I do it. And you know, I'm not too far from here, which is where I call home. And this face tattoo that you're giving me is going to suit me just fine because I feel so comfortable out in the woods with the animals, anyways. Kind of have a little nuance with animals. Tell you the truth, I can kind of talk to them and understand what they're talking about sometimes, and I just start rambling on. Just, you know,
Right.
there was one time I talked to this squirrel for 45 minutes about acorns, and it was all in squeaks and squawks. You know, just
what is Mogar's like charisma?
13.
13. Yeah, so I mean, you're a fairly easygoing, like likable person, especially if you you're easy. You're a good listener. You know, you kind of like taking it in stride. You know, you've done tattooing long enough to know that there's a swath of different people that come and get tattoos, right? You know, they all have a different story. That's how you kind of look at it. You know, and you travel quite a bit, so you know it's you're not like naive to the ways of the world. You know, you've traveled in your but this is the furthest north that you've ever been. And again, the only thing that even brings you up here is because you're looking for that book. And you've only been up in this area for less than like 3 or 4 days. You know, so you really just got up here just a few days ago. Okay. So you know, at the end of it, so what? Again, I haven't read up on this, but what does the tattoo add or detract anything or charisma, or is it just kind of a game flavor as to how a character looks?
So what I gave him was the Beastly Sense tattoo. As an action,
What kind of-
speak the command word, activate one of the following properties for an hour. Once he activates the property, tattoo can't be used again until the next dawn. So it has a hop, which gives him advantage on wisdom perception rolls to rely on sight. Bat, which gives him wisdom perception advantage on hearing check. And there's the rat that gives him advantage on smell check.
Stealth checks.
smell.
Okay. Smell. Okay. All right. Yeah, if you can post that to the main chat, JD. Oh, okay, you did. All right. Just so that John has that in case he wants to. Oh, there you go. There you go. I just saw that you posted. Okay, very good. So yeah, and that's as long as he wears that tattoo, he's able to do that once a day.
Yep, for an hour.
Okay, for an hour. Okay, very good. So yeah, keep that. There's your new tattoo, man.
Yeah, it's so cool.
Yeah, and after that, you take a look in kind of like this kind of like silvery mirror that he has like hanging from his wagon, and you look at it and you like it. You know, it's you know. Do you have to do like a performance check or anything like that, JD, when you're giving a tattoo?
No.
Okay. Yeah. Why don't you roll a performance check for me?
$16.
Okay. Yeah. So you know, you normally, you know, even on an average day, you do a good job. Today, you just happen to be, whether you're invigorated being in the new town, kind of like a new hope of being able to maybe get some leads on finding that book, the brisk, fresh air of being in like cold, brisk, fresh air, not in a stinky southern city. you are alert and awake, and you have put some severe effort into this tattoo. It's like one of your best works. Yeah, like you can take pride. You take pride in the fact that you've done not only a good job, you did a great job on this tattoo. All right, and Pecker, you can see, like you've looked at like Sheamus's tattoos, you've looked at other people that are tattooed. You're impressed. You're like, wow, this turned out way better than I expected, right? Yeah, you're really happy with how the results are.
Yeah, I'm looking in that little mirror, and the first thing I say is, "People won't look at my crazy eye now."
Yeah, and you're looking at yourself with the crazy eye, which is ironic. So, anyways, So you exchange money, and make sure that you mark that off your list, John. And anything else you guys want to talk about?
No.
Okay. So afterwards, as you're admiring the brand new tattoo that Mogar has put on your face, Mogar goes back to what he was doing before, basically organizing his wagon, really getting it prepared for the throng of people that he's hoping that are going to be swamping toward. You're also going to be a bit of because of the degree, and this is why I had your roll performance check, JD, is because of the level of skill that you've put into this tattoo. Pecker has almost become a walking billboard for you.
Yeah.
Like, so it's so well done. Having rolled a 16, it's so well done that if people ever thought of ever having a tattoo or it crossed their mind, they're more apt to go up to Pecker and say, "Hey, where did you get that tattoo?" He's become a walking billboard for Mogar's tattoo parlor.
Right. Oh yeah.
All right.
And part of that in the bottom, where some of the curling is, you can actually see, if you look close enough, where I signed it.
Okay. Very good. Yeah. So as you get, as Mogar gets back to like organizing his inks and his inventory and stuff like that, Pecker beaming because now he's got like newfound confidence in his appearance, goes walking into the Alaskan Inn. And so, John, what you see is you see Carter there, Sheamus is there, Owen's behind the bar as he normally is with his downtrodden face, just as the day you first saw him. The most excited you ever saw him was when he was at Sheamus's fight, thinking that he was going to be able to earn that money to pay that property tax on this inn. Now that's looking in peril of being able to do that, he's more distraught than the day that you saw him. And you see the cat and you go and roll a perception check there, John.
That's going to be a 4.
Yeah, you see the cat on the bar, the top of the bar, and he is just as the day you saw him, on his back, paws in the air, tail is wagging a bit, asleep. Yeah, belly to the sky. And that's all you recognize that that's the cat that you talked to, a few days ago.
Lazy cat.
Yeah. So, but what also you notice that the inn itself, just because of the event a few nights, like a night ago, or a few nights ago, it looks cleaner. Obviously Owen spruced it up a little bit just in lieu of the fight, and now he's kind of like wondering, should I've spent that much time, effort, energy, and some of my own money sprucing this place up now that I don't have anything to show for it, So anyways, you see Carter and you see Sheamus, and they're sitting there, and they're basically just kind of talking amongst each other. Carter's kind of telling Sheamus a bit about some of the lessons he learned about what he learned at the temple and about what to anticipate. Some of the his mentors told him before he went out to the real world that it's good to keep your eyes open, and it's better to keep your mind open, but keep your eyes open more than your mind. Kind of thing, kind of those kind of lessons. And so Seamus is like, that's good advice. I found that that's good and even a good fight, and Seamus actually kind of imparts a couple of good advice about brawling, about like fisticuff. If you ever find yourself you're like mano a mano against someone, and make sure you turn your body sideways so that you have less of a target area. So it gives him a little bit of advice if he ever decides that he's going to find himself in a fisticuff kind of fight. And that's what you find, Peckers, as you come in. You can kind of overhear that conversation between Carter and Seamus. And as you come in, a gentleman a gentleman from upstairs that you're familiar with starts coming down the stairs, and he looks down at you and immediately recognizes that you're here, and he kind of picks up his pace and he comes down the stairs and he meets you at your table. And the person that is meeting you here, or has greeted you, is Titus. He looks worse for wear. He looks like he's been beaten over more than some of the fights he's ever been in. Again, he was pretty successful. Excuse me. He was pretty successful as a boxer, as a fighter, until he met Seamus, and then Seamus kind of put the shame on him, but even then, he was with some healing potions and some TLC. He recovered pretty well. He looks like he just went to. He's bloody. He's got a black eye. The eye's swollen shut. He's got a split lip. His entire upper body, which is bruised. He looks worse for wear. And he looks like he's been beaten within an inch of his life. And as he kind of works himself unsteadily on his feet over to the thing, he kind of gives you a bit of a tooth, not a toothless smile, but he's missing a couple of teeth. He's definitely not the pretty boy that you first saw him a couple nights ago. And so Seamus obviously recognized him, because they've kind of formed a bit of a camaraderie, even at the it's kind of like that. Whether you love him or hate him, before or after the fight, during the fight, and typically afterwards, you have a new respect for each other. So Seamus is definitely like, oh my God, Titus, what happened to you? I saw you at the manor last night. I was going to jump in and try to help you, but it seemed like the magistrate had other plans for us, and it definitely looked like the guards were doubled up, especially in the courtyard. It looked like I saw 8 or 9 guards just in the courtyard, and Titus goes, yeah, they for losing, just even with technically I didn't lose the fight, and he kind of makes a big deal, technically I want a rematch. You didn't really beat me. You might have been beating me, but you didn't. The bell hadn't rung, and the fat lady didn't sing. So I still was in the running there. Anything could happen, But because I made such a poor showing just within the first couple of rounds of the fight, my sponsor, and I use that term loosely, I never asked for his sponsorship or his patronage, but he's held it over me ever since I came to town, and I was penniless and I didn't have a place to stay, and he lent me money, and I thought he was actually sincerely out for my best interest. But as he said, many times, I am just a small cog within the staple of fighters that he keeps. So, if I'm not making him money, I'm not worth spit compared, to the magistrate. So anyways, he wanted to, he sits down right across from Carter and Seamus, and this guy kind of gets up, comes over here, and where's Pecker? Pecker, yeah, with your new tattoo, sits right here, and actually, and at that point, this is what Titus says. You still there, John?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. Just want to make sure. So, yeah, as you're looking across the table, this is Seamus, Carter, and Pecker looking at Titus, and again, this guy looks like one step away from death. That's how beaten he is, and he kind of like a bit of a toothless smile, and kind of goes, "You guys wouldn't believe, like, where have you been? Like, I have been looking all over for you since I was thrown out on the street from the manor house late last night." And they, just after, when you saw me, I saw you very, I wasn't even sure I really saw you. I was so in a state of being like of delirium. I thought it was a fever dream that I saw you guys there. What were you guys doing there?
Yeah, they worked you pretty good.
Yeah. Were you there at the magistrate's house last night? I could have sworn I saw you.
We had a meeting with the magistrate yesterday. About 5 minutes right after. We didn't leave too long after you were drug out.
Yeah, so they dragged me up into like an upper room up on the upper balcony, and just threw me to the ground and said, go clean yourself up before you go out, before we throw you out on the street. So I was able to kind of like put a wet cloth to my head and kind of get some of the swelling down, because the magistrate's cruel, but he's not stupid. He didn't want he wanted to make sure I kind of cleaned myself out before I went to the public, so that I'm not diminishing any type of his return. I guess he still feels like I have some value in fighting at some point and earning back at least the money that he kept claiming that I owe. He now has almost like tripled the amount of money that I thought, he said he's always brought up, you owe me this, and you need to earn this to pay me back, and you owe me. Well, he told me last night I owe now, as of last night, I owe 3 times as much, or he's going to kill me. Yeah, he's made no bones about it. He'll stick his goons on me, and he's a man, he may be a snake in the woods, but when it comes to money, he's ruthless. And when he says he's going to kill me, I have no doubt that that's what he means. He says, but there's 2 things. I guess you haven't heard.
What?
When they threw me out of the out of the mansion last night, I saw your friend that you entered in with. Oh, I'm sorry, he wouldn't have seen that, because he would have been. He says, let me just think for a second. Did he ever meet Altair? Yes, you were. Yeah, Altair was at the fight. Is that right, JD?
Yeah.
Yeah, because you're grappled up and hung over the pit, right? So yeah, he knew that you were part of the group. So he says, "Yeah, I saw your friend. Your friend is dead."
What? Who? What friend?
Yeah, the large turtle-looking fella.
Oh.
Yeah, the guards made sure that I was stepping over his body to get out the front door on the way out of the mansion last night, as a warning to me that this is what can happen.
Well, in lieu of the conversation I heard walking up, we were talking about advice, were we not, Carter? Well, let me give some advice. And I turn back and look at the big bruiser there.
Yeah.
You should probably pick your friends and work associate a little bit better. Maybe have some standards, set outline of how they're supposed to act, or you just can't hang out with them. Because my friends, and I look over at Seamus, would never do that to me.
Right. Yeah. Well, and Titus looks back at you, Becker, and goes, well, the luxury of picking one's friends is afforded when you have a full belly and shelter to make that decision when you are outcast and alone and no one is coming to save you, unless you can bring some kind of value, in this case money, to someone's pocket. The only thing I had to my name is I knew how to fight, and no one was giving me a job. No one was coming to save me. No one had my back. No one knew me. I didn't have anywhere to go but down.
Well, you can only go so far down before you hit bottom, and then the only way to go is up. And you can still fight. That they can't take that away from you.
Yeah, and he looks at you and he goes, "Well, that's true. It's going to be a while before I'll be in shape to do that again. I think they broke my wrist. I think, he's again. He looks like he's going to be on the slow road to recovery. It's going to take a few. He looks like he's been through the ringer.
I'll tell him about the soup kitchen. Well, you could probably go to this place over here and kind of tell them we sent you, and heal up and rest and get better. It'll be a roof over your head. It'll be semi-warm, and you'll get to eat every once in a while, and it won't cost you a thing. You might just have to help out around the building or something.
Yeah, go and roll a persuasion check for me. I know you're trying to help the guy. The guy is, he just, he knows Seamus, and he doesn't necessarily trust your group, but he respects Seamus. And obviously, you giving your, well-intended advice, let's see how he takes it. Go and roll a persuasion check for me.
13 plus 2.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, he looks at you and he understands. It's kind of like, what? I've never been afforded any kind of kindness from anyone before. No one's ever shown me any regard or any respect. He kind of looks over at Seamus and kind of, that knowing look of like, we've been, when the chips were down, we both stepped in to help others, like with a servant's heart. He says, and he recognizes you, Pecker, that, your intent is good, and so he kind of looks at you and says, well, maybe that would be a great place for me to recover. Maybe you get my ducks in a row so that I can figure out how I can cut ties with the magistrate, because I know he's coming. I know he's going to come for me the second he knows that I'm trying to, the second he gets any wind that I'm trying to, bail out on the contract in which I've signed. He's going to, he'll come after me. So I've got to make sure that I've got to put some serious thought on how I'm going to do that. And, being able to kind of lay low for a few days without the eyes, because I'm always being watched here at the Alaskan Inn. There's someone in this room now. There's always someone that's on the street. And no matter where you go in Alaskan, there's always ears and eyes of the magistrate.
Not at this place, there's not. And if they are, won't be there for long.
Okay.
Just get some help.
Yeah.
They'll help you. Tell them we sent you. And choose your friends wiser. Kind of make better decisions so you don't end up in this situation again. Yeah.
Because I will definitely do that, and I'll probably head over there later on this morning and see if they've got room for me, and I'll, if you don't mind, I'll come maybe drop your name just so that they know that you're the one that sent me that way. That I just didn't arbitrarily, show up.
That's fine. You can do that. That is not a problem. Oh shit.
Yeah, and he goes, well, yeah, and so not only has Seamus kind of earned some respect from this guy, but you've gained a couple of he realizes just with your exchange, what, maybe all people in the world aren't bad or out to get something from me. You've given them a little bit of, at least a moment of pause of well, that's good advice, and it was meant from a good place, and what's Pecker's charisma?
I got a 14.
Okay, yeah. I mean, your approach and delivery is, might come to some people, it might come across as blunt. it still comes across as authentic and sincere, right? So,
Yeah.
So yes, Titus is like, well, I will do that. He says, I didn't know the guy well, he says, but I heard the guards talking about that he had snuck into the manor, and they put him down like the turtle that he was, but they purposely made me walk over and up around this guy to make a point of, this is what happens when you go against the Black Hand, and mostly like, this is what happens when you go against the magistrate. I don't know if you guys know this, and this is one of the main reasons I called you here. I hope, obviously, you got my note from this morning. I just sent couriers to everywhere and anywhere I could. I didn't know where to find you. So I just kind of relied upon the local network to kind of like track you down, because you weren't here at the Alaskan Inn, you weren't at the Three Sails Tavern. There's only two places I know that you would have maybe gone. I'm glad the courier found you. I'm glad the courier found you before anyone else did. And he looks at the three of you. He looks at Carter, looks at Pecker, looks at Seamus, like with a dead seriousness in his eyes. He goes, "I'm sorry about your friend." He says, "but it sounds like you guys don't know." And Carter goes, "Well, know what? I mean, we know now. We know that our traveling companion, or one of our newest members to our party, is deceased." Which is a bit of a shocker, because the guy was, extremely capable. His approach, and Carter looks at the other two and goes, his approach and delivery was a little off sometimes, but as far as capability, I never had any question that he couldn't do what he claimed he wanted to do. And if anything, I didn't even know he was around most of the time, because even though he was, which is a tribute to how like sneaky the guy was, he goes, and Carter looks at Titus and goes, "Well, what are you even talking about? Like, you're glad your note found us before what?" And so Titus unrolls this parchment. It's about like a 2 foot by a foot and a half parchment. And on the parchment, you see Pecker, Seamus's, and Carter's face billboard on the thing. And it says at the top, "Wanted, dead or alive, reward." And Titus says, "This is what I came out to first thing this morning. This is being plastered up all over the city. And I'm surprised someone hasn't stopped you or tried to collect on the reward, because this is signed by the magistrate. And so people know that he has the capability of paying a reward. He's known for paying good rewards. He's a little shrewd, and everybody does it silly, but he knows where the butter is, like where the bread is buttered. If he greases the right hands, it's for a reason. And it's obvious that the magistrate wants to, and it doesn't matter if you're alive or dead. You're being hunted by the city guard now, and any bounty hunter that might be taking up this bounty, or anyone. I'm surprised you haven't been stopped on your way over here this morning. I'm glad you made it here. And so, Pecker, go and roll a perception check for me.
Ooh, 11 plus 3, 14.
14. That's good enough. Yeah. So as you are being told this, one thing that's evident in the room is, again, everyone else in the room is familiar to you. You either saw them the first night you got there, or they were there the night of the fight, or they were there, and they're obviously there first thing, kind of like a barfly. So there's not anyone that you haven't seen before. But one thing that you definitely pick up on is that more people are paying attention in the room that you're in the room. Like you can see the sideways glances of people up at the bar, like, you know, talking amongst each other, looking your way a little bit more than, you know, it's one thing to kind of walk into a room, someone glances up, kind of acknowledges that you, like, they just take note that you're coming into the room and who you are. There's a number of people in this tavern area, this kind of bar area, that have evidently, especially with that role, evidently noticed that you're in the room and that you've been here for about an hour now, you know, and there's the sideways glances, the like a bit of a out the side of the mouth, like you can tell that there are people that are interest in you being at this location. And it's not just one or two people. They're, you know, out of like the, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, out of like the 9, 10 people in the room, you know, like 3 of them are generally interested in that you're here.
Well, I look at the group and I tell them, well, gentlemen, we should probably get you two out of here, being as your face is all over these posters.
Yeah, I mean, Pecker, your face is on there too, but not with your new tattoo.
That don't even look like me, huh? Look at that.
Yeah. They do got the crazy eye though. That's the weird thing, is somehow the artist it was like the caricature of you knew to draw the crazy eye.
Right on.
Right, because, you know, at that point that was one of the most prevalent features of your face, you know, and maybe not so now because of your new tattoo, but, you know, at the time, you know, that, but, you know, the wild hair, the wild beard, the wild look in your eye, the artist did a good job of capturing your likeness, you know. It's not photograph quality, but it's like, you know, it's close enough that if someone looked at it and looked at you, they'd be able to add 2 and 2 and get 4.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
I'm thinking, oh, I got a new face tattoo. That don't even look like me.
Yeah. It's almost like Bjorn and the Twig of Deception. You know, it's kind of like, now that I got this tattoo, no one's ever going to recognize me. You know, like that's your belief, right? And to some degree, that might hold true. We'll see how that plays out. At this point in time. JD, your character, Mogar, comes into the tavern and is having looks for Owen. You had met him the night before as you got into town. You had made a kind of a gentleman's agreement about where you could set up shop. He was a little miffed that you weren't going to like pay for a room for him, but you were going to, you know, almost like park yourself outside to kind of like cater to his patrons. And he was kind of like, well, I need the money as bad as anybody because I got this property.
I gave him 5 gold to stable my horse. So.
Well, he doesn't have that's the stables. He doesn't have a stable at the thing here. That's a whole separate business to him. So, yeah. So yeah, but you know, it was too late in the evening, and he's got way more other things on his mind. He was just, you know, you were pretty persistent on like, yeah, I really need to kind of like set my stakes, or kind of like, you know, kind of dig in for the night's coming, you know. It gets cold at night. I need to kind of get my bedding squared away. And so after like, you were persuasive enough to say, you know, I might just be here tonight. I might be here for a while, but I just need a place where I can just kind of like set up, you know, put my shingle out for a day, you know. And Owen, you know, was more concerned about like, where am I going to find the money? Like the magistrate's going to come and, you know, he's going to send his goons, or he might send the Black Hand. I mean, who knows, you know? And so he had bigger fish to fry than worrying about where you were going to be setting up camp. So, anyways, you come in. Owen kind of like acknowledges you come in, kind of waves you over, and said, you know, did you get set up okay?
Yeah,
okay.
Everything's good.
Yeah. and he kind of gives you kind of the lay of the land. We um, kind of gets busy here after about 10 a.m. and then it stays. But just to be candid and forthright, most of the people that you see in the bar right now are the ones that those are the ones that are here at 10 a.m. So there isn't a big influx of people coming in and out throughout the day. We had a big uptick of people coming in the other night because we had some entertainment, and he says actually those gentlemen over there at the table were a big part of that, and he says, but we had a burglar, like we had someone come in and rob us, and if you might be of interest, I don't know how. I don't know how much you make, giving tattoos, or how busy it's going to be for you camped out in the front of my tavern. You might want to talk to those gentlemen. They are under contract to find some money, and maybe, maybe you could find some work with them. And he goes back to doing bartender stuff like spitting into the cup and then wiping it down, which is like an old bartender trick to kind of win your confidence, right? Yeah. And he kind of goes back to doing what he was doing before he came in.
Okay.
All right. He says, so getting back to like Pecker and Titus and Seamus and Carter. So Titus kind of looks at you, Pecker, and says, hey, look, you might want to lay low. I don't know, that's great. That's great about the the soup kitchen area, but loose lips sink ships, and if that place is being told for people, especially the barons, to come to for food and shelter, well, that kind of leaves up to interpretation. It won't stay a secret very long, and as many times as you would tell someone, especially people here in the commons, you need to keep it quiet. The more apt they're probably more apt to gossip about it, especially if they think that they're helping someone of their same status, right? So that may not be the safest bet to go back to. I'll even have to consider whether I'm going to use it as a place of recovery, but I do need to kind of recoup somewhere because it's going to be a while before I can kind of get back into the fight game. It says, but you might want to definitely lay low. I know the guards are actively looking for you, and that they're patrolling the streets this morning. I saw them. What do you have to say about that, Becker?
Well, I guess we'll have to be extra careful.
Okay. Kind of talk to Owen there. As you kind of wrap things up with Titus, is there anything that you want to tell Titus, or is there any information? Like, are there any questions you might have for him, or is there anything is there any information you want to before he kind of moves on, before he leaves? Because he's been here for a little bit. He's starting to realize that people are noticing you in the bar, which is making him nervous because he doesn't want it getting back to the magistrate that he's affiliated with you in any way. He just felt obligated to let you know about Altair, and he felt obligated to, especially to Seamus, to let you know that you're being hunted now. You're being hunted by the city guard and bounty hunters, and God only knows who wants to collect on that reward that the magistrates offer. Is there any questions you might have, John?
Nope, nothing.
Okay. So just kind of wrap this up a little bit so we kind of move on to the other things. Is that so Ty's kind of very, once he recognizes, wait a minute, there's people, it's kind of like that canteen scene in Star Wars and A New Hope where, it's like, oh, you guys are starting to gain some attention from some of the undesirables in here. It's time to move along. You know, he very kind of like paranoia is kind of setting in now. Like, wait a minute, this was supposed to be kind of a quick meet and greet, and let me just kind of give you some information and let you know, give you a heads up of what's coming. And let me get I'm going to get the hell out of Dodge, you know. And so he ends up going and goes back upstairs. Okay. Is there anything that you want to relay, Pecker, to Carter or Seamus at this point?
No, we've been together the whole time except for when I was getting my tattoo.
Okay.
I would. And that being said, yeah, the gentleman that gave me the tattoo, he seemed like a really nice fella. We had a nice conversation. Well,
and you notice the guy that gave the tattoo, Mogar, is in the bar. He's having a conversation with Owen, and it's not, you know, I mean, Owen's obviously nervous, and you know, he's always seems a bit nervous talking to anybody really, but you know, he seems to be having a civil conversation. Doesn't seem out of place. You know, you kind of pick up on it's just a cordial conversation between the two of them, and you notice that he's in there talking to the bartender. And then all of a sudden, like, Seamus looks at you, Pecker, and says, "I'm going to have to meet you back at the. I'm going to have to meet you back at the soup kitchen area. That's what we're just calling it. It's going to be called something else, but for ease of knowing what I'm talking about, we'll just call it the soup kitchen. All right. That's a good enough name as any other one. So I'll meet you at the soup kitchen house. That's what it's going to be called. The soup kitchen house. I'll meet you back there. I'm going to go and have a conversation with Titus, maybe getting him more convinced about laying low, maybe even helping us out. Maybe he knows this area much better than we know it. He's been here a lot longer than we have. He might have some ideas of how we can get out of the city unseen. And so, like, Seamus goes upstairs and follows his Titus. Seamus thinks that because of their affinity, because of the fight, and that some kind of that trusted respect bond of being mano-a-mano fighters, that he might be able to persuade Titus to maybe kind of give him some more information. Okay. So, Pecker, you're at the table with just Carter, and Carter is kind of chewing over the fact that he's now being like normally you're the guys that are looking for something and looking to find something, and you tend to be the one that's always kind of like seeking. It's a little bit odd being on this other end of the coin, the other side of the coin. Now people are seeking you, and they're looking to find you, and it's for nefarious reasons of turning you in, or at least turning your body in to gain a sizable reward. And you're actually surprised at the, like, you know, it's like like 50 gold pieces per person, and that's a notable amount per person to turn you in.
right.
Yeah, when people are making like a gold piece a day, maybe at best, 50 gold pieces just to find a group of party members, and at least, if anything, like even just if it leads to the arrest of kind of thing, you know, they'll still get some kind of reward. So that's Lint, and you know, and you can, and he leaves the poster with you, you know, and it's a good like someone is artistic enough to capture the good likeness. Like you couldn't like just dab on a mustache and someone wouldn't recognize you. You would, you know, you'd have to kind of really disguise yourself well to not look like the likeness on this wanted poster. Right. So
I think we need to find some way to try to hide, because I don't know what they want us for. We're men of the towns. We're men of the people here. We help them. We're wanted though.
yeah,
I
we're
mean,
like the Tin Townsfolk. We worked up such great goodwill with Bremen, and it looked like we were actually, I thought up until the fight at least, that we were on the right track on ingratiating ourselves within the community here in Targos. But that kind of went south after the fight.
Yeah, because, well, now that doesn't look like it's to be so, sir. Because, I mean, look at this. We're on a poster. Well, you and Seamus are on a poster. Some guy that resembles me.
Yeah, looks like your evil twin. It's like your long lost brother.
Yeah, almost.
Yeah. And at that time, JD, your character notices that Pecker and the guy who looks like he belongs to like a holy order is just sitting there, and at that moment, come through the front door 3 of the city guardsmen.
Okay.
Yeah. And let me get that. And the only interaction you've had, JD, with the city guard is they patrol quite regularly, and they have stopped at your wagon like the night before, just to ask you, what are you doing there? Do you have the permission of the proprietor? They were just doing their due diligence to make sure you weren't being a vagrant,
Right.
And you know what? The thing about it is they made no mention about them looking for anybody, or they didn't make any mention about being on the hunt for anybody. So they were just doing it. It would just seem like to you that this is a 1,000-person town of Targos. This is a normal, and you've been in big towns before. You know how it, it's you're not naive enough to go, you know what, I'm not going to be questioned by the city guard. I'm new. They're just making sure that I'm not like setting up a, they kind of give you like, be aware that, taxes get collected. And as long as you're conducting any type of business within the city limits, we'll come by, with every few days to collect your taxes. So at that point, three city guards come in to the thing, and they scan the room. Oh, and at first they've got that poster board in one of their hands, and they're kind of like looking around. And at first, like a couple of seconds of glance, they don't really see you and Carter. These are the same guardsmen that talked to you the night before, JD. This must be like a regular patrol route for them, and they do recognize you. They kind of give you a head nod, like, we see you're still here, and they come entering into the bar, and they're standing at the front door, kind of scanning the room to see if they see anybody. Right, Pecker, what do you want to do? At this point in time, based upon their perception roll, they had not seen you.
I tell Carter, pull the hood over your head, back up, get out of the stool, and start walking to the door without making a sound. Yeah. Don't nobody. Yeah.
They're blocking. You should know that they're standing in the doorway. Like they're you can see the 3 of them, and they are blocking the doorway. So there's
put your hood around you and put your head down.
Yeah. So go ahead and roll a deception check for me, John.
Let's see, a +2. shit. 17 plus 2, a 19.
That's going to be their 15 at this. So at this moment in time, this moment in time, they have yet to recognize you. Whether it's because they're distracted by the other patrons in the room, or they maybe have been up all night, on patrol. Maybe this is the latter part, like the latter part of their patrol. They're either tired, who knows. For some reason, all you know is that they haven't. It does not seem like they've recognized you at this point. Gentlemen, let's take a 2-minute break, okay? And Pecker, I want you to think about what you'd like to do, because you're going to be the main, at least at this point, you're going to be like the main person because I'm going to run Carter as like an NPC. Okay, so he's just there to help and hopefully not hinder. Right. I mean, he'll still make his rolls and things like that. But as far as like what you want the party to do, unless it is way ethically against what Carter would do, he's going to go along with you. All right. Think about what you like to do, JD. With your character at this point, go ahead and roll an insight check for me.
$19.
Yeah, okay. Here is something very distinctive that you notice about the mannerisms of the guards as they come into the room and are standing blocking the door into this tavern. And you notice this is a distinct difference than the night before. One of them is that they have a bit of a murderous intent in their eyes. Like they are scanning the room as if they are looking to immediately fight. Like you can tell it's almost like they're looking for a fight. Okay. That is a big difference than the interaction you had with them the night before, where they were like, "Hey, what are you doing, friend? How you doing, friend? What are you doing here?" And did Owen, the proprietor, give you permission? Normal questions any city guard would have asked you, and you've been asked, dozens of times in your travels these questions. So you're very familiar with interacting with city guard. Okay, and it was a normal interaction last night. The behavior and what you have gleaned by like looking over at these city guards as they acknowledge that they see you as like, oh, that's the guy from last night, is they have a intense, murderous look in their face as they're scanning the room. You guys think about what you like to do, or like what like how you're going to interpret that. Let's take about a 2-minute break. Let me kind of refresh my coffee, and we'll be back in just a little bit. Okay.
Word up.
All right.
JD, do you know that our characters are wanted? Have you seen a poster or anything? Do you know?
No.
Okay.
No, but I think my next step is to go down to the stables and get my horse, hook up to my wagon. And I think I've just decided this town is not great for making money.
Yeah, because I was about to approach you and see if you would give us travel to a new town to make new prosperity. The town called Wood.
Which town?
Lakewood.
You mean Lonelywood?
Yeah, that place.
Hmm. I was actually considering going east, but yeah, quick trip to Lonelywood.
Yeah, we can play that out if you want to, JD. You know,
Yeah.
you're probably gonna have to make it through these city guards if I'm assuming correctly. They're gonna recognize. I guarantee they're gonna recognize probably Carter first. That's gonna be on. That's just my assumption.
All right, you guys there?
Yep.
Okay, John, you there?
Yep.
Okay. So, while so JD is as Mogar is kind of like contemplating like what you need, like you're thinking like through this mental checklist of like, do I got this, like, do I have the soap set up? Do I've got like all my inks organized? You know, you're like going through this mental checklist of like, did you get your wagon set up the way you like it, right? And you've you know, you've confirmed with Owen, you know, he's not overly concerned that you're outside. He's got more bigger fish to fry than worrying about you setting up shop. Okay.
Yeah.
And as you're kind of like doing your mental checklist of like what you've been doing to set up your wagon, you see these three guards come in. One of them acknowledges you, having talked to you the night before. And at this point in time, Pecker, what you recognize is this really kind of weedy, Weasley-looking guy. You've seen him before. He's always, like, you saw him the first night at the bar. He's that kind of person that, you know, you see him and you automatically don't like him. You know, you can't put a finger on it, It's not you didn't never talk to them. They've never done anything to you. They've never but that type of person that you would look at and you would go, you know what? There's just something I just don't like. I don't even like I don't like the look of that guy. And you can tell that this guy is like weaselly. He's kind of like got like squinty eyes and kind of like the, he looks like a snitch, right? But you've noticed him at the bar every time you've gone to. He's a barfly. He's the kind of guy that sits at the bar, and for some reason kind of keeps to himself, drinks by himself, but he's always at this bar. So you see him. He ends up going over and goes up to the lead guard and points over to you guys, to Carter and Shaman. Carter and Pecker, and says, "I guess I'm glad you got my note. They've been here for about an hour. How much is my reward?" And at that point, you hear, you see the guard kind of like, "Well, we'll talk about this later," and kind of shoves him aside. As he shoves him aside, he trips and he falls to the feet of Mogar. Falls on his back to the feet, and the guards advance towards you guys, and they say, "Hold up, gentlemen. Stay right where you are. You need to come with us." What do you want to do, Pecker?
And I kind of like turn it. Are they talking to us?
And I look at Carter, and Carter looks at you and says, "I'm afraid they are." And at that point, he goes, Carter looks at you, Pecker, and says, "I don't think we should let them take us. We saw the state in which how they treat their own people. How do you think they're going to treat us?"
Yeah, I'm not going with them, and I suggest that you don't go with them either.
Yeah. So they are aggressively they're looking to clasp you in irons, right? And so what do you want to do, Becker? They're coming up to put you. They're either going to put you in irons or they're not. And the only reason they're not going to is because you do something. What would you like to do?
I'm going to reach down, and as a bonus action, I'm going to cast Shillelagh on my spoon.
Okay, go ahead and roll. Because they're looking at you and they're ready too. This is like the MPs of Targos, right? They're the enforcers. They're the ones that collect the taxes. They're the ones that hunt down fugitives. So go ahead and roll initiative.
Oh, it's 11 plus 1, 12.
12. That's for Pecker. Okay, and he gets plus 2. What'd you say, JD?
21.
Okay. Yeah, we'll address that here in a second. So Carter got a 15, and each of these gentlemen, their group, they got a 9. So, anyways, JD, so this is what you see. You see these 3 guards that you're familiar with. You just talked to them the night before, and they're approaching they're approaching your client, who you just put a tattoo on. You can see, again, they have murderous intent in their eye. They're definitely being overly aggressive. They're basically going at them like enforcers, like stormtroopers. Because you rolled initiative, tell me what you want, what's your intent here? Because they're not coming after you.
Right. So I'm just drinking my beer and watching the situation.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, this is what you see. I mean, you see, you see these 3 well-armed guards, well-trained, going towards your client and Carter with a murderous intent in their eye. They're basically, you can tell they're basically like they're the leg breakers of Targos, right? And as they move towards the group, and you can see, Pecker, that they're coming towards you with intent to clasp you in irons. It's your turn. Actually, I'll have Carter go after you. Just to make it fair, okay? Because based on what you do, he'll do. Like he'll follow your lead. All right. So go. That's only fair. I normally wouldn't mess with the initiative order the way it's rolled, but in this case, with the way the scenario is, it makes more sense that you go ahead and into your round.
So
No, I'm gonna bonus action cast Shillelagh on my spoon.
Okay, lay on the spoon. Okay.
Jump up on the table and turn and look at him and say, I don't think I'm gonna let you take us in irons today.
Okay.
I'm gonna hold my action to where if anybody gets within range, I'm going to smack them with that spoon, and I'm gonna hold my movement. Can I do that?
You can hold your action.
yeah, no, that's all you can do.
Yeah,
Hold your action.
you can't hold both of them. You know, you can use your movement as an action, and that's what you're holding based upon the trigger. You tell me which triggers that action. That could be either an attack or movement, but you can't do movement and an attack. So it might behoove you to.
With that being said, I'm going to not jump up on the table, but I'm going to cash, knock down, turn around, and say what I said, and I'm going to run to the very first guard. How far away is he from me?
Not even like 5 feet. I mean, he's probably like 10 feet away from you.
All right, I'm going to run 10 feet to the guard closest to me, and I'm going to smack him in the inset of the knee with my spoon.
Okay.
Let me get to my dice. Ow, that was my knee. 16 plus 6, 22.
Yeah, that's an easy hit. Yeah.
All right, that's 1d8 plus 3. And it's magical, so because it's a shillelagh.
Yep.
So we're gonna go 1d8. That's gonna be a 4 plus 3, 7 points of bludgeoning damage.
Okay.
And then I'm going to run over to the bar, jump over the bar, and get over by Owen.
Okay, yeah, so this is like, these are 10-foot blocks here, so that's 10, 15. Just do a acrobatic roll for me. You're kind of like, yeah, you're kind of leaping, or either athletics or acrobatic, whatever's the best one for you.
Plus 1, 14 plus 1, 15.
Yeah, that's good enough. See, again, you're 3'7", 3'8", and you're trying to like pole vault, not pole vault, but you're like trying to like high jump over this this bar top, right? Which is like, you know, I guess the typical bar top's like what, 3-4 feet high. So almost the same height as you. You're trying to like vertical leap over this thing, and guess what? You do, and you slide across. You didn't like go all the way over it. You kind of like hit the top and rolled over the other top. But you're on the other side, and because of your height, you have full coverage at this point.
Oh, so plus 5 to my AC.
Dude, unless they come and intentionally come around to hit you,
They can't even target you. Yeah.
they can't hit you. They have to purposely get line of sight on you, or purposely get in position to hit you. If they tried to, like, they couldn't hit you at this moment in time. They'd have to come around the bar and they hit you.
Even better.
That being said, because of the height of the bar and your height, for you to like jump up to like attack would be difficult. Also, you'd have to come around the bar to attack them. So,
I'll take that all day long.
okay, all right. But
So
just to let you know,
As
that's
this fight's breaking out,
Yeah.
I want to stealthily cast something.
okay.
So you want me to do sleight of hand or stealth?
I want you to do sleight of hand because depending on the spell, you might have to do like a hand movement.
It's hold person, so yeah, it's verbal, semantic, and material.
Okay, yeah, go ahead and again, because of your high
20
initiative
plus
roll,
two,
I'll say that you held your action, and this is the action that you like. You were paying attention to like sipping your beer, being aware of the situation. Now you see that a fight's broken out.
Yeah.
Now you can do your action.
So that 20 or 22.
22, that's gonna hit. Yeah.
That's not a. It's not a attack. That's my sleight of hand roll to cast.
Oh,
so
I'm
that
sorry.
way- no,
Yeah, I just said that. Yeah. So sleight of hand. Yeah. Yeah, not even close. Like these guys that rolled a 15, they didn't even know that you had cast it. Where do you want to cast it on? The one that's right in front of Carter is the one that
So
Pecker hit.
It's
The two other ones haven't moved in position to be able to attack yet.
right. So it's a DC 16 save.
Okay. Which
and
which save is it?
I'll cast it on this guy right here.
Okay.
That is old person. Let's see. Wisdom saving throw.
Wisdom saving throw. Rolled a 4. Did not save.
Okay. He is held.
Held. Okay. Let's get a little token on him just to kind of help me help you. So it's been a while. I mean, I'm overly familiar with the spell, but just kind of for our audience, let us know. Like, there's some people out there that have never seen a whole person spell
Yeah.
cast.
Choose a
So go
humanoid
ahead.
that you can see within range. Target must succeed on a wisdom saving throw or be paralyzed for the duration. At the end of each of its turns, the target can make another wisdom saving throw. On a success, the spell ends on the target. So he's paralyzed for up to a minute.
Okay, and they are able to make a save at the end of their turn. Is that right?
Yep.
Oh, okay, you're right. Good. Okay, you beat me to it. You're quicker at navigating this than the DM, which is cool with me. Good. So that was basically your turn. You cast. They didn't even see that you would cast it.
Right.
Okay.
That
So
was
they
the
don't know that you are even participating here.
Yep.
They just, so it's almost like the guard in front of Carter, maybe even thought didn't see Carter make any hand movements, but it's kind of like, wait a minute, the guard that you put the whole person on knows it. He's, and I wonder, are they able, because of they're held, are they still able to speak?
Yeah. I mean,
Okay. Yeah, they just can't move forward. They're
you can't act. He's paralyzed.
paralyzed. Okay. All right.
His melee attacks against him are auto crits, I believe.
Yeah.
Should probably double check that.
So let's see, props. Oh, there you go. That's exactly what I wanted right there. Boom.
Position paralyzed.
Not that big though. And not two of them.
Incapacitated.
Yeah. So Carter, as a bonus action, is going to cast spiritual weapon, and level 2, and it's going to go ahead and take an attack on the one that Pecker had hit, and then dashed away from him. And also,
He
just to
actually
let
can't speak.
he cannot speak.
Nope.
Okay, that may or may not come into play. Okay, so I just wanted to make sure that we were on the same page. So he's going to cast spiritual weapon, and which is at level 2, and it's going to go ahead and take a swipe at the person right there. Rolls a 9, so it's a miss, and then he's going to go ahead and take a mace hit at the one right there. So mace hit. Mace. There you go. Boom. And oh my gosh, come on, Carter. And rolls an 8. So swing and a miss and a swing and a miss. Now it's the guard's turn. The guard that is right in front of Carter is going to take 2 swipes with his long sword. I'm sorry, one. I'm sorry. These are just city guards. They're not. So yeah, rolls a nat 1, and
Boom to the knee.
throws his sword. Due north, 14 feet. So I need you to make a dex save for me, JD. As this guy takes a wild swing at Carter, like he flings back, the sword goes out of his hands, and what is it?
17.
17. Yeah. So you see this sword as he wills back to go. It slips out of the guy's hands. It flies 14 feet due north. JD Pecker, you're behind the bar, so you're not in the line of sight here. But yeah, so this thing goes flying and lands, like up in this area. So I'm just going to put like this is where the sword landed. Okay, and that's that guy's turn. He's at that point. He's like, "Whoa! I need to collect my sword." And so he goes back, which triggers an opportunity attack from Carter. Carter rolls 14, misses. Come on, Carter, get it together, man. And moves up to here. He'd be able to do his full movement. So that would be 30. He'd be able to get back here, free action, and then pick up his weapon. So that's where he is at. The guard. So he doesn't get a save till your next turn. Is that right?
He gets a save at the end of his turn.
In his turn. Okay, well, it's the end of his turn because he can't do anything. It's a wisdom save. Is that right?
Yes.
And what's the DC on that?
16.
16. Okay. With a 4, he's not going to make it. So he is still held. The other guard at this point is going to, so this is like 10, 15, 20. Yeah, he's going to have to come all the way around here. And he's going to take a swipe at Carter from here. 6 plus 3 is 9, is going to miss. And it is the top of the round. That being the case, because of your initiative roll, JD, you are next.
Yeah. I'm going to get up and walk like I'm going out the door here.
Okay.
And then as I get behind this guy, I'm going to hit him with my Great Weapon Master, with my Great Club.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so you have advantage on the attack, and then by hitting, I think you automatically crit.
Yep, and I got a 19 plus 1, so 20.
Yeah, AC is 16, so no problem.
Okay.
And with our crit rolls, so what do you start? What's your basic damage starting off with?
D8 plus 13.
I'm sorry, say that again. You broke up a bit.
D8 plus 13, so 21.
Okay, 21. Okay.
Plus 8, so plus 6, so I do 27 points of damage.
27 points of damage. Okay. The guy is still standing. So.
Yep. So we get shot bonus.
Oh, yeah.
What's that?
With a Great Weapon Master, you crit, you get another shot of bonus action attack.
Well,
Oh,
I get
wow.
2 attacks per attack action anyway.
Right, because you basically have that fighter. It's a fighter build with. It's almost like being a blade singer,
Yeah.
But
So I just critted again.
okay.
So that's another.
Yeah, you're not even going to need to roll because just your
21,
basic
25.
damage would. You basically have. And what did you hit him with? Your you have a great club.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this guy is based on the damage you did in such a short period of time, and because of his being paralyzed because you were a hold person spell, and he didn't get a chance to save. Like, well, he didn't save on it. You basically have pudding this guy. This guy looks like pudding on the floor. He is. You'd be hard. His mom would be hard to recognize him. He is dead, man. He is dead. Okay, he's dead. Yeah,
Like dead.
he's dead. There's no two ways. I mean, they'd be hard. I don't think they could even resurrect this guy. So what are you doing now?
Dead.
I'll turn around, come back to this other guy,
Okay.
and I'll use my bonus action attack. Nat 20.
Okay.
That's base 21. Jesus Christ.
So that's 24 damage total.
Okay. He's still upright.
Yep.
Okay. And that is your turn. It is anything else?
Nope, that's it.
You had 3 crit hits in one round.
Well, 2 of them were automatic because he was paralyzed.
For sure. And because of his feet, he got an extra attack.
That's nuts.
Yeah. So that's 3 crit. That's 3 crit rolls in 1 round.
And
For
one
a
attack.
total, like, I probably should have you just roll the damage for the second crit roll just to see how much total damage you outputted in 1 round.
I did.
Well, it was-
20 stick.
What was that?
It was 20 stick.
Oh, 26, 27, and 21. That's 60, 63, 74 points.
Wow.
That's
Altair would have been proud. Altair
Yeah.
would have been proud. All right. Yeah, that guy's not only dead, he's like, he would not even qualify to be undead if someone tried to raise him. That's how pudding, like, he looks like,
he's a jello mold.
he's a jello, he looks like the fruit salad on a bad day.
And what?
So, Pecker, it is your turn. And what you see is that one of the guys, you hear this like clanking, like this, like, and you see one of the guards, the one that talked to you and said, hey, you need to come with us or there's going to be like trouble. Well, this sword goes flying past you. You didn't see it until it hit past the bar, past the bar top. And almost, and he runs over and picks it up. And but he can see you now because he's only about 5 feet away from you. What would you like to do?
Well, I'm going to run up to him and I'm going to whop the inside of that other knee.
Okay.
12 plus 6. Does an 18 hit?
Yeah, it's AC 16. You definitely hit.
All right. We're going to do a D8 plus
All right.
damage. 8 plus 3. So 11 points of bludgeoning damage.
He only had
And I'm
5,
gonna-
he only had 5 hit points left, so you have shillelagh'd him to the other side. So he is dead.
And then I'm going to jump up on the bar.
Okay. Again, just do an athletics check or acrobatic check for me.
That'd be a 9.
Yeah. The DC is 10. It's not an overly difficult thing you were trying to do. Maybe you slipped on some like spilt beer or some kind of liquid, but you tried to like vault, like grab the thing and vault over it, and you basically you couldn't get up over the it's like trying to get up over a ledge, and you're like, just can't seem to get, like, you couldn't get your weight up over the edge.
Right. Couldn't up there.
So I'll count that as like half your movement right there.
Okay.
So let's say you have another 15 feet of movement, and that was your free action. But you're still on the side of the bar, which Owen, and you're still behind the bar. You couldn't get yourself up over the bar.
Since I saw the guard, I saw 2 guy smack him with the mace. So I'm gonna go around the bar and stand next to Yeah, whoever the guy that was snitching on us. I want to
Yeah,
get.
yeah. The guy, you know what? The guy is still like, he basically like he's still on the like he. I'm sorry, he kind of like stuff, but yeah, he is only like 4'6" himself. He's a kind of weaselly little guy. He's human. He's a human guy, but he's really short, and he just looks like a snitch. But he just kind of curled up like his back up against the bar, and yeah, you're right next to him, man.
Yep. And I'm going to just turn and look at him. Look what you did.
Yeah.
You're next.
Yeah. Are you gonna attack him, or do you just want to scare him?
I used my attack already.
Oh, okay. Well, why don't you roll an intimidation check for me then?
Oh, I got a plus intimidation. I got a +2 to that with my little bit guy. 17 + 2, a 19.
Yeah, this guy is used to being threatened. This is a pretty street smart. He probably grew up on the streets, but he can tell, like, whether it's like your crazy one, like off-centered eye, or it's your new tat, or maybe it's just the whole package, man. But you look at him and say, "You're next." He believes you, and he's scared. You can see that there's a trickle of
Urine
coming down his leg. All right. Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. You've scared the piss out of this guy. That's how good of a roll it was. He rolled a 9, so you well outpaced him on that. So yeah, you look at him and say, "Well, you're next," and he believes you to the point that he thinks that he is next to be killed, because he's already seen 2 of the other guys get mollywopped by JD's character, and by you.
Yeah, I'm serious. That spoon, Jack.
Anything else? That's your movement. That's your attack, right? And that's your free action. I would say just that you're next. Anything else?
That's all I can do.
Okay. Carter is going to move the spiritual weapon down to the guard. To the guard that is attacking him. He'll go ahead and attack with the spiritual weapon. Bear with me 1 second as I get to that screen. And boom. It's going to hit with a 19 for 6 points of damage. So this is the first time that guy's taken any damage. That's right there. And then as a action, he is going to cast is that considered a range attack? I believe it is. And the guy's right up on him. I was thinking guiding bolt, but I believe that is at disadvantage because it's considered a ranged attack.
Yeah.
Right? And he's within, so that would be at disadvantage. And that's too much of a spell to be wasting on that. What he'll do is he'll go just cast Sacred Flame and have him do a dex save. He'll do that. It's a DC 15 wisdom save. The guy rolled an 8, so that's 2d8 damage. Of spiritual damage. Radiant damage. I'm thinking of your old character. There's 5 points of damage, so that's 20. There you go, 25. And that is Carter. That's Carter's turn. And then to come up the last, the guy's going to do an attack with his long sword. Rolls a 9 plus 3. That's 12. 12's not going to hit a 19 AC. And he doesn't recognize that his 2 compadres behind him are on the ground dead. So it is the top of the round, JD. It is Mogar's turn. You are about 20 feet from the. I'm sorry. You're about 25 feet to the guard that's attacking. You got I'm just gonna put this over this way. There you go. What would you like to do? This guy's taking some damage, but not a lot.
12 won't hit, right?
Yeah, 12 won't hit. That's right.
Okay.
Yeah, the AC is 16.
Second attack is a 17.
Okay.
But 16 points of damage.
16. Okay. Very good. So that's like 25 feet of movement. You swung twice, hit once. Anything else?
Nope, that'll do it.
Okay. Becker, you are up. You are about, I'd say 10, 15. You're about 15 feet from the remaining guard, or you can stay and but you're like right on top of the snitch.
I'm going to non-lethal force, and I'm going to smack the snitch in the side of the face. I'm going to try to knock him out.
Okay. Go ahead and roll your attack.
17 plus 6, baby. A 23.
That easily hits him. No problem. This he doesn't have any armor on. He's got like an AC of 10.
I hit him for non-lethal damage, 5 plus 3, 8.
He is he's unconscious. You hit him right smack in the jaw and put him on the ground. He is unconscious.
Look at the boys. Now finish the job so we can get out of here.
It's like Han Solo. Okay, let's blow this thing. Get the hell out of here.
Right. I mean, you did Return of the Jedi or a Star Wars comment earlier. I just wanted you to not feel left out and left alone.
Oh, good. Yeah. Just to let our audience know that we are indeed geeks and nerds here, so no problem. Gladly, I like to say we're chic geek. We're it's cool now to be kind of a nerd. So you knocked him unconscious. That's your action. What would you like else to do? Based on his con, let me find out what. Hang on, let me get another die here. Yeah. Oh my God. Jeez, man. Excuse me. You mollywopped the guy. I mean, this guy is. You knocked him unconscious, and he is. He looks like. He looks like Tyson hit him. Yeah, he looks like Tyson connected on the jaw with just a uppercut, like right hand uppercut, and just caught him on the jaw. I mean, lights out, nobody's home. He's breathing, but he's out. He's out.
Yeah. I'm thinking, here we are trying to help all these people, and this one here in particular is trying to get us killed. So he had to catch them. He had to catch that spoon. Spoon man.
Yeah, man. You totally like
thinking about tying him up and dropping him off in the middle of the woods somewhere.
Well, you know what? He's not going to put up a much of a fight on that because he is unconscious. He's not going to be able to fight you at all, man. And you can tell he's going to be. I mean, just. You can tell, some people are dazed, unconscious, but they kind of you can see they're kind of trying to fight back to consciousness. This guy looks like he's out for a nap, man. He is, he's down and out. You could go and grab a beer, come back, and he'd still be unconscious. Yeah, you don't see this guy getting up anytime soon. Right.
Good. Well played shot.
A well played shot. You got it. The best play shot. He is. Other than critting, you couldn't have hit him any harder. He's out. he's out. Anything else you'd like to do?
Nope. Shout encouraging words to my friend over there and the giant tattoo artist fellow who is seemed to have intervened in this situations on our behalf.
Yeah. I mean, to you, you're like, well, that's a little bit confusing because I mean, you just met the guy, right? And you guys hit it off. I mean, you guys actually, based on your charisma scores and based upon your interest in tattoos and your background, he found you really kind of quirky and interesting, and you found him to be, well knowledge of the world. You know, like he was telling like a story about the last town he was in, and you know, you guys hit it off. You hit it off, right? You know, like there's something, like you knew there was something off about the snitch. You knew there was something about the tattoo artist. You liked them enough that you trusted him to put a tattoo on your face. You know.
Not only that, but I'm thinking, you know, as my character, I'm rather wise. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It was just beaming with, like, look what I did. This is probably the best tattoo I've ever done on anybody's face. Not 20 minutes ago. And I'm thinking to myself, he's just protecting his artwork.
Yeah, he's protecting his artwork, right? Like he takes such pride in his skill and his final product. He just doesn't want to see it messed up. It's still, you know, he even told you it's going to take about a week for the swelling to, you know, come down a little bit. You know, like when you get a fresh tattoo and it feels like a fresh sunburn for like about a week, and then it starts kind of edging off. But he's like, he doesn't want the ink to be messed up, right?
You don't want the swelling to be any more than what the tattoo actually did.
Right. And again, because, you know, in his mind, in JD, in your character's mind, you're just kind of thinking, well, I just did the tattoo. I don't want it being messed up. And he is kind of like a walking billboard for me. I mean, this kind of ends to the means to the end. I don't want it messed up so that maybe I'll get more business, or, you know, you take such pride in your artistic ability. You just don't like seeing someone deface your fresh artwork, you know, especially since you signed it.
It's like painting a mural and then having some kid walk over top of it and graffiti the name right across the middle of it.
Yeah, that would be disrespectful, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's Pecker. Carter is going to have the so now, just as a point of fairness, so John, so basically, are you just going to kind of like you just knock this guy out, like out? You're just going to kind of like keep an eye on to see what's going on with him, or do you want to do anything else while you've got the chance?
Well, I'm looking at it like that guy's surrounded. He's got a floating mace. He's got Carter, and he's got the big purple guy.
Yeah. 6 foot, 200 pound tattoo.
I'm this guy that I just knocked out because I'm going to tie his ass up.
Okay. Yeah, you know, one thing that you do notice, and it does, you know, go just roll like a perception check for me.
Oh, 15 plus, where's my perception? 3, 18?
Yeah, so you notice like all the other patrons, the other bar flies that were there at 8 o'clock in the morning, you get the sense that even though there were some other ones that took interest in like you guys being there, the guy that like was aggressive and like wanting to collect the reward and made the bold move of like approaching the guards to let them know that you're there.
Yeah,
everyone
they learned.
else in the room has just kind of backed out. It's just kind of like, hey, we're not a part. Like, we're staying out of this. Like, this is not our circus, right? You guys do whatever. Like, you guys take care of your own business. We don't have it. Like, I'm gonna go back. I'll have my beer. I'll sit back here so you don't hit me. But you don't see any aggressive movement in the room. Even Owen, who's behind the bar, and he's hunched down behind the bar now. He was eye to eye with you for a while you were behind there. He's not making it like he's not, you know, for whatever his motivation is, he's not engaging, or he's not like not doing anything but hunched behind the bar. Okay, that's what you notice. There's no one else coming out of the crowd to come save these guards. Carter is going to go ahead and have the spiritual weapon go ahead and take a swipe at the remaining guard, which is not looking good. He's not looking good. That's a spell. And there's a spiritual weapon. There you go. And good Lord, rolled an 11. Not doing so good with the rolls there. And then he'll go and take a mace hit.
Don't
That's 5. That's 13. Swing and a miss. Swing and a miss. Not going to hit an AC 16.
get advantage flanked.
Oh, well, he's not really flanked. He's got 2 guys on him. I would say that if he had maybe moved around, I'd count him as flank, but they're really kind of like Mogar and him are kind of attacking from a frontal position. So, and the mace doesn't count as a character, as a creature. It's just it just counts as like a spiritual attack. So, the guard is gonna like take a swing. So like 1, 2 Carter, 3, 4 Mogar. Is gonna take a swing at Carter with this great. Oh my goodness, 18 plus 6, 21 is gonna hit for 5 plus 1, 6 points of damage to Carter. That's the first hit he's taken in this today. And he is not going to move. He's not silly enough to kind of like trigger an opportunity attack between two people, so he's going to stay toe to toe. He recognizes now that one of the guy that Mogar put down is down. Like he's expecting maybe to get up and help him. He realizes now, maybe a little too late, that his compadres are no more, or at least they're not getting up to help. And he's, worst case scenario, they might be dead. So it's the top of the round. Mogar, it is your turn. This is round 3, I believe.
Yeah. So I'm just gonna heft my club and bark, run at him.
Okay, go and roll an intimidation check for me.
Nat 20 for 24.
Well, that's going to beat his 2. So he is going to run, and so Carter's still going to do his opportunity attack because
opportunity attack, yeah.
Yeah. So why don't you do yours first, because you're really higher up in the initiative roll.
Dirty 20.
Yeah, that's going to hit his AC 16.
Yep, for 14 damage.
He only had 11 hit points left, so he's dead. Okay, he's dead. And so, that being the case, the scene that you see around you is that you see 3 of the city guards that are well known in the community, dead on the floor, and you see Pecker standing over unconscious. This weedy 4'6", kind of squinty, slimy looking snitch of a guy whose jaw is swelling profusely. What else would you like to do before? So you're out of combat. No one's aggressively attacking you. You see Owen kind of poke his head up to kind of like see what's going on, kind of get a read of the room, and you see the other patrons staying put. They're just like, your circus is not my circus. I didn't come here for this today. I just came in to get a drink. You guys sort yourself out.
Yeah,
whatever you need to sort. Yeah.
Rifle the pocket of the guard.
Okay. Okay. So go ahead and just roll a. Well, you don't have to roll. I mean, the guy's unconscious, so Yeah, you got 5 gold pieces. And you got a decent looking City Forge longsword.
I'm gonna tie the slimy guy up, the sketchy fella.
All right, go ahead and roll a survival check for me, just so that I can see how well your knots are.
I got the survival.
Okay.
Oh, 19 plus 6, 25.
Yeah. Unless he rolls a nat 20, there's no way he's getting out of that. Okay. He only has a +2 to his roll, and he would have to. He'd have to roll a nat 20 to get out of that. So we'll play that out. But as for your round, you're tying this guy up. Are you tying his hands and feet? Are you bounding him like almost like a constrictor? I mean, how are you tying the guy up?
I'm binding in his hands and feet, and I'm hog tying him.
Hog tying. Okay, got him on his belly, hands behind his back, tied to his ankles. Gotcha. Yeah. Carter, is gonna kind of sees Mogar. He's gonna kind of come over and do the same thing. Again, same thing. He's got 5 gold pieces and on him, and again, like a castle forged longsword, which is just a well-made longsword. There's no magical property to it. Mogar, again, you guys are. I'm just kind of going in order of. You guys can do whatever you want to do at this point. You're out of combat. No one's approaching you. They're not asking. They're not asking how you're doing. Nor do they care. They just want to be kind of like left alone. So everyone else in the room is just giving you wide berth to kind of do what you want to do.
I want to look at Owen and say, I presume you clean this mess up. That way we have a chance to get your money back. What the magistrate don't know won't hurt him.
Yeah.
I would you do something with these bodies, and this never happened. And we're taking.
I tell you, based on your interactions with Owen in the past, go ahead and roll a persuasion check for me.
All right, I got +2. Ooh, 13. 13 plus 2, 15.
Yeah. So he recognizes that he doesn't need to be on the magistrate's radar at this point in time. Like if he could almost like fly under the radar for a bit, that might buy him some time to get his property tax in order. That's what he's thinking. And he's like, I don't need to call attention to my establishment by having 3 city guards in here. And he looks at the rest of the bar, and they're like, you heard the man. We don't need any trouble. Go ahead and hide these down in the pit. And they a couple of the kind of like the loyal barfly guys, the guys that are there all day long, every day, regardless of rain or shine. They're loyal to the bar, and that's the biggest loyalty they have. When the bar owner says, "Hey, maybe I might even get a free beer out of this," or maybe a free round. A couple of these guys just pull up and they just start tracking these bodies down to the fighting pit, which is Mogar wouldn't know that where the fighting pit is, but
I put 2 gold up on the bar.
Say that again.
I said I put 2 gold up on the bar.
2 gold up on the bar. Okay.
And I say, thanks for the beer. I'm gonna head out of town.
Okay. Well, I appreciate that. He gets you the best. Again, he's been financially strapped for a long time, and he has some decent beer behind the thing. Some that he kind of imported in for the fight the other night, and it was kind of quickly cut short because of everything that happened. But he gives you a nice cold beer with a good mug, and he goes, well, that being the case, anytime you need to set up shop, once this all clears down and you guys, I can't have you come back until this is all cleared up, but if that becomes the case, then you're more than welcome to set up shop. But until then, I don't need to see you around my business.
I want to look at the big guy and say, so you're going out of town. Might I suggest a companionship? Seems that you want to leave, and seems that we need to leave. Me and my 2 companions.
Sure. And I'll take the two swords from the guards that I stripped off.
Yeah. So you got two swords. Mhm.
Yeah. I'll throw those in the back of my wagon.
Yeah. Okay.
And I will head over to the stables and get my 4 gold back.
Okay.
I want to tell Carter to grab the slime ball. He's coming with us. And we got to get...
Yeah, the guy weighs maybe 100 pounds on the range. I mean, he's 4'6". He's skinny as, he's like a 120, like 120 pound, 100 maybe 10 pound guy. He's unconscious. He's going to be out for a while. It's going to take him. I rolled that he'd wake up in about 6 rounds, which would be I would just say I equated that to be like in non-combat time, like about 5 minutes.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's tied up, no problem. He's slumped over Carter's shoulder. Carter's 6 foot tall. Carter's got a 14 strength, so no problem on hefting him over his shoulder because he's not fighting him, right?
Companion.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Jane. You go ahead.
I said somebody may want to go and notify your 3rd companion.
Yeah, we need to get Seamus, and then I want to gag the ball.
Okay. So, Pecker, as you go upstairs to go find Seamus, you realize that Seamus and Titus are nowhere to be found upstairs.
Okay, like right down and say, we need to go to the soup kitchen. That's where we'll find our friend.
Okay. All right.
Said to meet him at.
Okay. Yeah. So I'm just going to kind of fast track it because I know we only have about 45 minutes left, right? Is that right, John?
Yeah, 30 minutes or so, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I want to be cognizant of your time. So we're going to fast track this to you guys. So you've already collected your horse from the stable, Bogart, and you've packed up. You pack. It takes again, you just set up camp, so it's kind of like it's a little quicker putting things away than setting them up. So I would just say it takes you an hour to set up. It takes a half an hour to break it down. So a half an hour, you got it broken down. One thing, so go ahead and, so that's 30 minutes to break it down. Yeah, so go ahead and roll a perception check for me. Good. While you're breaking down your camp here, or you're breaking down the wagon for travel, you notice other groups of guards in the general vicinity. What you notice is they look like they're not alerted. They're not on a high alert. They're not looking they're scouting around. Each one of them has that poster in his hand, and you see him unroll it and kind of look around and shows it to the other guys. And does that look like the guy? No, that's not the guy. That guy's 5'2", and this says this is 3'6", so that's not the guy. And you notice the guards are looking for, looking for something that seemed to be prominently again unrolling the poster bulletin and looking around, and you see that they're kind of looking around. You get the impression, because of your perception, that they're looking for Seamus, and they're looking for the party. Mm-hmm. They're not necessarily looking for you, because they don't associate. There's no one alive that associates you with the party other than the snitch. Okay. And as a point of fairness, Pecker, how do you? So to get from Laskin Inn to get to the soup kitchen house is about a half an hour through the streets.
I plan on us getting in his wagon and covering up in his wagon and going that way.
Okay. And is that the plan, JD?
I mean, I guess, yeah.
Okay. By the time that you are like getting towards the latter part of like breaking down your camp, breaking down your wagon, the guy is coming out of his unconsciousness. You know, I mean, this is like, again, like 5-6 minutes after you've put him into the wagon, right? And he, with wide eye, is looking at you, still with. Go ahead and roll again that intimidation check for me, Pecker.
15 plus 2, 17.
Yeah. So he is. You can see he's intimidated by you, but he's not. He's not to the degree that he was where he was peeing his pants. You know, like he's scared of it because he realizes, one, he's tied up, and two, he's pretty helpless. One thing is that you know, he kind of looks where he's at. And he's kind of looking around, and he looks like, you know, that's where he's at right now. He looks intimidated and tied up in the back of the thing, and all of a sudden he starts screaming.
He's gagged, though, right?
You said you tied up his hands, his ankles, and you tied him hog-tied.
He did say he gagged him.
He did?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't hear that, but I'll take your word for it. Then he's gagged for it, so he's you know, he's not able to vocalize other than some like very low grunting and squealing, you know, like squeal like a pig kind of thing. But gagged. And so you get your wagon all sorted up, and under the direction of Pecker and Carter, you're able to make your way easily. You know, there's no contesting of why the wagon, like any guards that you see like a couple of other patrols on that half an hour trip to the Soup Kitchen house. You see another, again, 3-4 guards in kind of like a patrol pattern at certain points, like, you know, like another part of the high merchant district, maybe another area of like the Barons, a low merchant district, but they never even, you know, you're part of like commonplace, you know, commonplace industry. You know, I mean, they see carts all the time. This is a fairly industrious area, especially in these merchant districts. One thing I would say is your wagon stands out in the Barons district just because of how nice the wagon is, and how nice, well kept the horse is, and you up driving the team, you're probably a more well established looking merchant that would normally not be in that area, but it doesn't seem like any of the guards have taken notice. It's almost like, oh, maybe this guy's delivering a specialty order, or, you know, maybe he's there for a special request, or maybe this guy's on the downward turn for his business, and he's going to take business where they can be. You know, they're really not overly concerned, other than that, you know, they see that you're there. They see that you're traveling to the Baron lower merchant district, and you get to the abandoned, I don't say abandoned now, but the Soup Kitchen house, and that's where we are. We'll go there now. So, and you can place your wagon just outside the building. And I've got your token home right there. So yeah, and yeah. So you, Carter Pecker, are able to go into the Soup Kitchen. You see that you see people. There are more people there than were there this morning. So word of mouth, people are recognizing that this is a kind of a safe haven for anyone that's hungry or needs shelter. The place has a a warmth to it. There's fire in the hearth. There's the place is shaping up. You know, it's gone a far cry from the abandoned house you first stepped into a day ago to this looks actually habitable. You know, I wouldn't say it's a 5-star hotel by any means, but it definitely is a house in which you could go to and get some good rest, you know, without, you know, at this point in time, without fear of being disturbed, right? Whether that holds true based upon what's transpired over the last 12 hours, we'll see. It's about 10 o'clock in the morning at this point. You come to the soup kitchen house. There's the regular white hand thieves guild members taking care of new people. This is the first time that you've been there, Mogar, and you know, what would you like to do?
I actually just hang out on my wagon and say, "Go get your friend. Let's get out of here."
Again, as a point of fairness, I'm going to say that maybe Pecker or maybe even Carter might have said something to you like, "This is a well-known, like this is this is not a well-known secret that this place exists. Might want to park your wagon maybe half a block over, or you know, maybe maybe the next street over." They show you like where the house is, and you're able to access the house anytime that you would like. So it's not like you're scrambling to find it, but it still looks from the outside like it's an abandoned house. Which is wild because even though they have a fire in the hearth, somehow like these thieves have like contracted a system so that it dissipates the smoke before it comes out the chimney. So those smokes coming out of the chimney, it doesn't look like that someone's been in that house for, oh my God, 20 years.
Okay.
Right? But you know where the house is and you want to stay with your wagon, that's all fine and good. And we'll kind of like, you'll hear some things and you'll just have to play that you don't know. Okay? Mm-hmm. So Pecker and Carter, they go in, they look for Seamus. It's 10 o'clock in the morning. It gets to be about noontime. No Seamus has shown up. No Titus. Titus has not shown up. What would you like to do, Pecker?
We have to find Seamus so we can get out of here.
Yeah. Okay.
They were wanting to meet back here. Have y'all with your contacts in the street, talking to the White Hand guys, maybe saw him or heard him? You know, they're looking for us, as you well know.
Well, these guys know now because someone alerted them that you're on the run. Like, I mean, or you're in hiding, or you're at the very least you're being sought after by the city guard, and then and actually, okay, let's play this out a little bit better, Mike. Tighten up, Mike. So one of the guys from the White Hand come over to you and is talking to you, Packer, and goes, "Hey, you guys," and he's got a poster of you guys. He's got a poster in his hand, and he unrolls it and goes, "So you guys know about this?"
Yeah, yes, we are aware. They've already tried to take us once, but we refused to go.
Well, we collected this poster out of the hand of a bounty hunter.
Oh, so not only after us, but bounty hunters are after us too.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, I was thinking that maybe it was just going to be the city guard that was looking after you or looking out for you, for you. But it's the word is spread that the reward is significant enough that these bounty hunters are coming out of the woodwork to collect it. And again, they've been on financial stress. They've been under financial means for a while. So this is a golden goose for them. Don't be surprised that there's going to be more bounty hunters after you. That you might hear one or two going, I'll see if I can't fit in between my job, or it might be a new bounty hunter that will just go after anything just to make a name for themselves. But it seems like every bounty hunter, known and not known, like some of them that maybe are new to the city, they have flocked to this like flies on shit. They're coming out of the woodwork after you guys.
Well, we'll be extra careful.
Yeah. He goes, oh, by the way, I like your tab.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, that's a really well done. Where'd you get that?
Oh, I know a guy. I'll introduce you to him when the time is right. But I know a guy. He does great work, as you can tell.
Yeah, I'm actually thinking about getting a tab. And actually, the rest of us here at the White Hand, we've been thinking about getting a faction tab, just so that we easily recognize each other in case we need to recognize each other in the dark or something like that. We've got to figure that out. But we've been talking about that, especially now that we have a little bit of a home base now. Ever since we got driven out of our hiding place about 6 months ago.
Yeah, he'll work with you, I'm sure. He does amazing work, as you can tell.
Yeah, he goes, oh, that's amazing. I'm well impressed. And the fact that you would do it on the face just shows how much confidence you have in the guy.
Well, I do things on a whim. But it'll probably have to wait. Y'all think it over. It'll probably have to wait till we get back from sorting this situation that we're in out.
Yeah, so Carter comes over and he hands over the poster to him, and Carter looks at the guy and says, unrolls it and points out. Seamus says, so this guy hasn't shown up the last couple of hours. You've heard, can you put out the word on the street through like your network? We're looking for him to meet us here. And we leave word, can we leave word with you that, while we go maybe looking for him, let's meet up here. And if you get here, to stay here, but because he doesn't know that at the moment, Pecker, do you want to go looking for him, or do you want to stay here, and hope that he gets the message and comes back here? What do you want to do, Becker?
Do you really want to go out into the public with the guard and the bounty hunters until it's time to go? I mean, I'll tell you what I will do, though, is I tell Carter, you stay here. I'm going to go look for him, and I'm going to scout around the area. And to the back room out before I get to the door, I'm going to shift into a cat.
Into a cat? Okay.
Door.
What does the cat look like?
Same cat as before.
Same cat as before. Okay, fair enough. Nice. Okay.
And go out and I go looking for hints of Seamus.
Yeah. You're able to. I've played one druid in my lifetime, and I believe that even in your wild shape form, you can still talk. Is that right?
No, you can't.
You cannot talk. You cannot talk. Okay. So let's play this out just for fun, just as kind of like so as you come out of the area, like you come out of the house, right? And I think I do have a cat token here for you, because I think we figured one out for you last time you went scouring around the. So as you come out of the house, you recognize that there's Mogar with his wagon, right? And is there anything that you want to do? I think that's a cat. Is that a cat? That's an elk. That's not good.
No, there's a cat right here.
Oh, okay. Good. Thank you. Yeah. Let's see what that looks like. Yeah, there's a cat. That's perfect. Okay. So, you see Mogar on his wagon as you come out of the house, because Carter let you out the door, right? And Carter's going to wait for you back at the soup kitchen house. John, what do you want? where do you want your cat to go? What do you want your cat to do?
I'm sure I got the tattoo markings kind of emulated into the face of the cat. You know what I'm saying?
How does that work, JD? So he has a tattoo that you put on. He's wild shaped. Does the tattoo stay on, or does it get merged into the form? Because I read quite a bit of what you sent me this past week. I don't recall that being even addressed.
Yeah, because it's not.
Okay. Well,
I'd imagine it's up to him as the druid. So.
I'd say that I still got it, but it looks like stripes in my fur.
Okay. You know what? As flavor from this point on, flavor for the game. The school of cool. Whatever shape you form into, whatever tattoo you have, will form into some marking on the creature.
I'm cool with that.
Okay. So no matter what creature you morph into or shape wild shape into, it will have that tattoo, but in fur, or even if it's battle scars to make up for it, whatever makes sense. But it will show the tattoo on you. Okay.
That's
and
cool.
That would just be for flavor for the game. That not only denotes you as, like, if you were a cat among a dozen cats, you would be recognizable because of your marking.
Right. Well, with that being said, I'm going to jump up in the wagon and get on to the big guy's knee and look up and go, "Grrr." And then I'm going to hop off and go look for Seamus.
JD, go ahead and roll a perception check for me. With advantage, actually.
21.
Okay, 21's more. The DC was like 12. So, yeah, you look down, you look at this cat, and not that you're not a cat person, but you're probably, because of the amount of travel you do, you're probably more of a cat person than, say, a dog person, because you've befriended cats on the road, and and they've spent time with you for a while, and then they're off to do their own thing, and they're kind of like low maintenance, so you kind of have an affinity for cats. So you just think this is some alley cat that just kind of jump up on your lap until you recognize that's the tattoo I just did this morning. I mean, it's fresh in my mind. So you kind of think, at first you're like, how weird is that this cat has the exact facial markings as the tattoo I did on that little fella this morning. And then you add two and two together, and with such a high roll, you're like, it doesn't take much to put it together that the cat purring on your lap is the little guy.
Right.
Is the little gnome. Okay. So yeah, he purrs up on your lap, like he's purring, and what do you want to do? You recognize him for who he is. What would you like to do?
I'm gonna sit here and wait till all three of them are in my wagon.
Okay. Remember, you still have the guy tied up and gagged.
Yeah, about that. I'm gonna take that guy
Uh-huh.
and put him inside the house.
Okay. All right. Okay. Yeah, because that needs to be addressed at some point.
Yeah.
Because
I take him inside and I set him down. This guy is apparently a snitch. Have fun with that. And I turn around and walk back out.
okay. Yeah, and one thing that you've never met the white hand faction of the Thieves Guild before. You see a lot of cloak and dagger looking fellas, in this house. But surprisingly, they're either like cooking, cleaning, setting up cots. They're doing like hospitable, remedial housework kind of stuff at the moment. They're not stealing from pockets, and this type. You've seen them on the road. You've seen them in cities before. So, but yeah. So you telling them that this guy's a snitch, that raises a couple of them's eyebrows too. Like they give the knowing eye, the knowing head nod of like, don't you worry. We know what to do with guys like this. And the guy that's tied up, who's awake, his eyes get, you thought, they get about as wide as what happened back at the Alaskan Inn when Pecker threatened him. His eyes get like wide, and you can see again another trickle of like pee coming down his leg, because he knows that he may not be familiar with them personally, but he has heard of the White Hand. He's heard of the Thieves Guild. Okay. He doesn't know the inner workings of the Thieves Guild, and he's not a thief himself, but he has heard stories, whether they're true or not, or just rumor. He's heard stories that, you know, once you've run up against the Thieves Guild in Targos, you may not be ever seen again. You know, that kind of rhetoric, right? And they drag this guy off into like one of his adjacent rooms with a couple of these, thieves and Thieves Guild members, and they're going to treat him like the guest that's deserved, right? So, and you do that, and then you want to be back at your wagon, just wait for everyone to get together. Is that the plan?
Yep.
Okay. I know we're coming up on time, but I just want to kind of like get to a good point that we can pin it. So what do you want to do, Pecker? So you're up on the lap. He kind of like, not aggressively, but maybe kind of shoos you off his lap as he goes and collects the snitch out of the back of the wagon and take him into the soup kitchen house. What do you want to do at this point?
I just want to walk around the building and listen in on conversations. Maybe, listen for bounty hunters or see if there's any guards walking by. I want to stay around the building. You know what I'm saying? But I just want to eavesdrop on conversations, see if I hear anything about Seamus or.
Okay. All right.
You know.
Yeah, it's about. Again, it's just like about 10:30 in the morning at this point. And go ahead and roll like a perception check.
+3. Ooh, 19. 19 plus 3, 22.
68. So here is like, in passing, as you hear like some, you're just starting to see people, like, again, not many people come out early in the morning in this district. Usually it's about noontime before it starts really getting busy. But, some of the shop owners obviously open up around about 10 o'clock in the morning. That's very normal for this district. Where in the other district, the higher end district, they're opening up a little earlier. The streets are getting a little busier at like 8, 9 o'clock in the morning. Shops here are just opening up around 10. People, whether out of drink or depression, they tend to sleep in a little bit in this area. And also they don't have really much money to spend, so there's no reason to get up and go to this shopping district unless you have a mission, like you have a purpose to, like, you have something in mind to be there for. So one of the things you ever hear is just two gentlemen are walking down the street, and you can overhear one of them go, "Yeah, can you imagine, how this is going to affect, the scrutiny of the city guards in this area about, I feel bad for Shane. He might be under, like merchants like Shane over at the Arbor House. They're going to have to really kind of watch their P's and Q's. There's such an intense influx of an uptick of patrols, not only in this district, but throughout the entire town. People that, are making a living, maybe not an honest living, but those that are just trying to make a living are going to really have to kind of look over their shoulder to make sure that they're not being scrutinized. And the guy goes, "Oh, I know exactly what you mean, because I just, like, if I tried to move this morning, when I moved yesterday morning, I think I would have held off on the deal, because I'd be way too nervous to try to get rid of the merchandise in which I luckily found at that one person's house the other night that they weren't using." And that's the conversation. And then they kind of walk out of earshot. But one thing that you've picked up on is there's definitely, it's just not a random patrol, but there's been an increase of the number of patrols and the number of guards that have been placed in each of the districts, and that's town-wide. There's no one district that is bigger than the other. Okay, they're on a manhunt, right? They're looking for the three of you. They have pulled out all the stops to. Their impression is that the magistrate is motivated to see you, or one way or another, dead or alive. Go ahead and roll another perception check for me.
All right. Perception. That's a 4. A 1 plus 3.
Yeah. So you notice that over the next hour, there is an uptick of people in the area, but you haven't. It's kind of whether it's the throng of people and the background noise, or the distraction of trying to not be underfoot of this increased foot traffic that's coming into the area. But it's been a little distracting for you. Also, you've caught yourself in the mirrored image of a reflective glass, and you're so impressed with the markings of your face, you've actually gotten a little distracted about paying attention to what the conversations are saying.
Right. Yeah. I that.
Yeah, it's kind of like a bit of vanity, but more of it's almost like it's so new. It's like when you do get a new tat, you find yourself looking at that tat more than you would, even if you've been tatted up before. It's like, oh, I got that new tat. It's new. It's shiny. Look, it's new and shiny. I'm going to pay attention to it. So, and last but not least, before you get to about noon time, go ahead and roll one more perception check for me.
Ooh, 17 plus 3, dirty 20.
Yeah. You notice on one of the more mainstream central streets in this barren, that's why it's called the Barrens, merchant district, there is a gentleman who seemed oddly out of place. He's finely dressed. He looks like he should be in the upper merchant district, like maybe he lost his way. He stands out like a sore thumb. He looks like a high-end, high-ticket dollar merchant, high-ticket gold piece merchant. And the conversation, you're actually able to pick up everything that he's talking about with his assistant. And you hear him say, the magistrate, he wants his cut, and he wants it now. He's taken a little bit of a loss on this some event that happened the other night. He was expecting, once he found out that those proceeds weren't coming in, or there's a delay. I don't know the full story there, but he is really cracked down. I just met with him this morning, and you wouldn't believe how enthusiastic and motivated he made me feel to make sure that I collect my proceeds and give him his cut. It's almost like he doesn't seem desperate for money. He's desperate for us to get him his money that he feels like he deserves. And I had a good long half an hour conversation with with him this morning at his mansion, and he looked a little worse for wear, but he definitely, it looks like maybe he's losing some sleep over the fact that we're not getting him his well earned, he says well earned earnings to him as quick as he'd like, and so he's applying pressure on all the enforcers that are tax collecting to start cracking down on those that are late. He said, I know that deadbeat over at the Alaskan Inn, Owen, I know he owes some back taxes. He doesn't make he makes no bones about it that, he owes back. He's been saying that for weeks now. And I don't think they're going to let him slide anymore. That guy is under great scrutiny. I'm surprised that there hasn't been more enforcers to collect taxes from that guy. He says, but I do notice that they're, just this morning coming down here, I know I've got some merchandise that maybe is not appropriate for the high-end merchant district area. Maybe this is more, know thy audience. That's why I'm so successful. I'm not going to unload certain merchandise in certain areas because there's no market for it. And it seems like I've got a market here for whatever, this particular shipment that I got in the other night. And luckily, I should be able to turn a steady profit on it, a tidy profit. He goes, but, surprisingly, I was trying to go under the radar with it because I wasn't sure where I was going to unload it. But almost as when the merchandise hit the town of Targos, it seemed like the magistrate already knew I had that merchandise. So either someone told him, someone snitched on me, I don't know. But let's just say I had to scramble to cover my tracks to say that I was on my way, to let him know that I had received the shipment, and I was coming there to let him know that I had received it, so that once I unloaded it, he'd be getting his 30%. And I actually heard, and this is the last part of the conversation you hear before he kind of walks out of earshot. He goes, I heard the taxes are going to be rising. I said, how's that? We're going to have to maybe offset our pricing to offset and he says, it could be up to 50%. He says, if that's the case, then, we're really going to have to, consider maybe setting up shop, elsewhere, as a supplier, because, I don't have a brick and mortar here, but I do supply a number of shops with their goods. And without that, I'm a consistent supply chain, part of the supply chain. Without my doing that, I'm sure that whatever stores and shops that have been relying upon my merchandise will even be hurting more. Seems like the only merchants that seem to be doing any good as of late is the fishmongers. Did you see what happened last few days? Seems like they're catching every fish out of the lake that they possibly can. Their business is booming. And I bet you the magistrate knows it. And that's the last thing you hear as he gets out of earshot.
I bet. So I didn't hear nothing about Seamus. I'm going to go back to the and tell them about what I heard. It's going to be shakedowns all throughout bookies and strong arm.
Yeah. The enforcers are sweeping through the town, collecting debt that they would be due like 3 or 4 days from now. They're going and collecting them now. It's
Right.
like you're lucky that we're keeping an eye out for you, because if we're not collecting them now, you may it's 30% today. It's 50% 3-4 days from now. It's your choice. Not much of a choice, but that's the choice that they're giving him. But you relaying that information to the White Hands faction gets them I wouldn't say nervous, but definitely pricks up their ears as to we need to like let the merchants that we know that we rely upon to move our merchandise, because even though we have, we still have to operate as an organization. Not freedom is not free. And we're able to move throughout the town, pretty freely, but there are certain districts that we avoid, like where the magistrate's mansion is and where that's located. We don't tend to go over in that area very much, just because it's so well guarded. That being the case, it's about noon time. No Seamus, no Titus, and I think we'll put a pin in it there. You guys are kind of keeping a lookout for the two of them. Are there any questions that you may have, or you need some clarification on anything that's happened, or so when you get back to the house and you verbally talking, you're going to have to come out of your cat form.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. What do you want to do, Jay? Do you see the cat scratching at the door, and the door opens and the cat goes in, and you recognize the cat as Peckerwood. So. Are you just are you just going to be like a lookout on your wagon to see if Seamus when and if Seamus shows up?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
Okay.
at this point, it's been what, 2 hours since we showed up?
Been about 2 hours, right? Yeah.
I'm tempted to just leave them behind.
Okay. All right. So, well, we'll put a pin in it now. You're starting to think, oh, you know what? I kind of did my good deed of the day. I kind of pulled these guys out of a tight spot, and I mean, I like the guy I gave the tattoo to. He was kind of a nice, kind of a quirky, nice guy. But how much am I really obligated to these guys? I mean, do I need to be? You're a bit of a loner yourself, right? Because you travel alone, and you meet a lot of people, and you have friendships that you've made because you're a pretty congenial guy. But mostly that's because you're looking to build up your business, right, and your reputation as a tattoo artist, right? And also you're hoping to expand out your network so that you get information, and you're relying upon like almost information brokers to kind of like feed you information about the mystical book you're looking for, and also kind of like the lay of the land, who are the influential people, but if anything, you did hear that the White Hand faction might be of interest in having their members, and there's about 25 of them in their group that might be of interest in getting tattoos. So if anything, that is something on your mind as you're playing, as you're thinking this through. You're like, well, I mean, I could bugger off and take, just kind of cut these guys loose and kind of go do my own thing, or maybe I could further convince these guys that getting a almost like a fraternity tattoo might be the best thing for them, just because it'll kind of solidify the unity of being together. Like, you're one of us. See the tat, and that might be a good amount of 25 times 15 is a pretty good coin. Yeah. Enough to pay. I mean, 15. Let's do some quick math. 15, 25, 2, that's 10, 12, 5, 2, that's 375.
They would definitely pay for my supplies for a while. Yeah.
Yeah, that's 375 gold pieces. Again, that would take quite a, if it takes an hour, you're talking about 25 hours of work, but for almost like a couple days work, that's a fantastic ROI.
Yeah.
If it took you 3-4 days, just because you paced it out, because let's say you do like 8 hours a day over the next 3-4 days, still that's like almost 100 gold pieces a day.
Yeah.
That's you never been paid that much in your entire life. So, anyways, something to think about. And again, this is just in the kind of the beginning. You know, some of them might get it, some of them might not. But you know, that's initially the hey, yeah, this would be a great idea if we all kind of got this secret little like tattoo that we would recognize, and you only get it if you're part of the group, and that's kind of like a sure way, even in a crowded room, we'd be able to recognize you're one of us. You know, kind of like the secret handshake, but now it's a tap. And it might be just a very mundane tap, like a circle, you know, or a hand, like a hand on the hand. You know, think about some ideas, because that would be a pitch that you could make to them to sell them on that idea. Because 375 gold pieces is not especially at level 5, is nothing to sneeze at.
Yeah.
Okay, because I mean, you look at the cost. Because you know, again, I try not to get bogged down by the mechanics of cost, but if you look at the cost of like your inks and your ingredients that you use to make your tattoos, and just the upkeep and everything like that, you know, that can cost quite a bit, especially the higher end tattoos that you'll eventually be able to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I saw in there was like 16,000 gold pieces, or 30,000 gold pieces. I didn't look at the chart, but we're talking like 30,000 gold pieces for a tap at the upper end, right? More than 10, I know that.
All right, I gotta go, guys.
Hey, there you go. Well done on taking care of the guards that wanted to take you away and throw you into whatever pit, you know, pit of despair. So good job, like taking care of them, and then good job, kind of like navigating through the streets, and also you got some more information about what's going on. Like the city is like alert and awake now, and again, you've got some more information about what's going on at the magistrate's manor, you know, and what's being on the street, and you know, we'll pick this up next week. Just to let you guys know, I won't be we won't be able to play at the end of the month on Memorial Day weekend, because I'm going to be out of town.